All right, we're ready. We're rolling. I hate Star Wars.
Okay, kids.
What episode is this? 169?
Yeah.
Nice.
Awakening.
Very nice.
Have you felt it?
I always do poison myself for y'all.
If someone is not poisoning themselves for us, I am worried.
In the name of Mopar, I will have 3 more beers.
Holy shit. Thanks C3 penis face and R2 dickhead.
Hello? Looking. Found someone you have, I would say.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy Rogue Squadron Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am Mopar.
I am Commander Cody.
And we got our buddy.
Fode from Starbarbecue.
What's up, guys?
Did you bring us chicken wings?
Did you bring a barbecue?
I kind of did.
Did you bring us Star Wars?
Yes.
Woo! Thanks for joining us, guys. It's episode 169.
Nice.
Execute Order 169.
What's up, David?
Hi, David. Hi, Padilla. Thanks for tuning in. We love you.
On our day off, we did not record on Mr. Sunday.
No, we did not
You
record on
assumed
Mr.
Sunday's
Sunday.
gender.
But someday soon we may be recording with Mr. Sunday.
So I don't know Mr. Sunday.
He's hilarious.
Okay.
He's a YouTuber. He's an Australian YouTuber, and he has our sense of humor, but he's Australian, so there's like the word bloody is mixed into every single fucking sentence. He just didn't bloody go over there and fucking do that bloody. Like, sorry, that was English. I'm not good at anything.
I was hoping you would try because that's hilarious.
I did try. I'm sorry. If he's listening, which he's not, I'm sorry. Don't let that speak for our podcast. Are you trying to be Spider-Man right now?
We just met him. He just served us with the fucking.
If you are confused, this means that you need to tune into our YouTube channel and watch the live stream because you don't know Mopar's hand gestures or anything. So tune in.
Tune in
Sundays at 8 and watch it.
Yes.
Except for today's
Except
Tuesday.
for today, which I was trying to get to. Mopar had a wedding that shouldn't have happened. It did.
There it was.
So, we were there. I was there. I'm sorry.
You weren't there? What are you laughing about?
I was not there,
Stop.
but
So
I felt it in spirit.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good
What's
to
up,
know.
Mike? Man, we got a lot of people jumping in on a random time. Jared's there too.
Thank you.
What's with the beer? Yes, so for many different reasons, we stopped.
No drink November can go fuck itself.
No drink November. I remember that too.
Yeah.
So we stopped doing it for many different reasons. At the wedding, I had to double down at the wedding. So
You have to quadruple down. Yeah. It was just a bad idea in general, so we're over it. It's done. It's happening.
Yeah.
I gave you guys a lot of shit, too.
well, yeah, but I also
Yeah.
did no drink when I was in Delaware with you. Which say a little bit about your
Not
shit.
the last time I saw you,
Stop
though.
talking about everything else. What did I ask you? When I was in Delaware last time, both of us went.
Yeah, that's
and,
true.
And you were giving me shit, and I didn't have a single drop.
You didn't ask a thing just now.
He's learning. He's learning. You should
Very
have
good.
still answered.
Thanks for
though.
joining.
But
It
you're
was
learning.
rife with statements.
Thanks for joining us.
Rife.
Yeah. So No Drink November is done 7 days ahead of time.
We also were gonna break it for Black Friday because we're having people at home
In our lives.
We have friends, so
We have that.
once a year we have friends.
Once a year. Yeah. So we
Starbuck-
What the hell?
Starbecue podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
please fill us in. Please tell us.
Adults only. Always thinking with our stomachs.
There
That
you go.
means we cook, we drink, we watch Star Wars. We do these things called roasts, which is just commentaries, which we just did one here at Rogue Squadron HQ, one of the fanboy commentaries.
It's true.
That's
It's-
for patrons only.
It's basically the same idea, but that's our bread and butter. Like 90% of our episodes are that instead of like 9%, which is you guys.
Yeah, if there were more movies coming out, I think that would be our
You guys
90%.
pretty much only do like the theatrical stuff, right?
As for now, yes.
Yeah.
For now,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
So we'll have
as
to
we
have you
progress.
guys on for maybe some Rebels or something, because I know you haven't really watched a ton of Rebels. I know, fucking Rebels and shit. But yeah, it's fun.
Nice. Yeah. So check out Starbecue.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for joining us.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man.
I know you're
Thanks
in
for
Columbus.
having me.
You're in Ohio like twice a year or whatever. So
2 or 3 times, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you're welcome.
This is my second time in Ohio this year and my second time here at the HQ, so.
This is the second time I've seen you this year, right?
Ka-ching.
We did Delaware earlier, and then I saw you in Lancaster.
Third time, because you came to Brewskins as well. B-Wings at Brewskins.
I've had enough. This is the last time.
Yeah.
I got to get
Yeah.
through the New Year's.
Yeah.
I don't
agree.
blame you. I've had enough
No,
of me too.
I agree with whatever he said.
All right, Galaxy. You know how we usually... We're not going to actually do a beer review because we have nothing here to actually review. But we do have a slew of brews that we're going to get through. Oh, they're
Yeah.
all delicious. I think we've done Stitch and Noel. That was a 10 out of 3. We've also got New Belgium Accumulation was one of our earliest ones, and that was one of our favorited.
I really like this one.
Yep.
I really like the Stitch and Noel. That's one of my favorites.
I've had
and then,
all 3 today, and this is my favorite of the 3.
Yeah.
the Ryan Guy's Dad. This is the first time I've had it, and I'm not usually a big fan of this standard like holiday ale, but this is really good.
It's not bad, right?
Wonderful.
It's a hoppy. But we're not gonna do an actual review. What we're gonna do is guess the scene.
Try to guess the scene.
What happens with guess the scene?
So you're going to call the movie since you're new, and we're going to look on this can to decide the timestamp.
Actually,
So
Solo would be a great one
that would be a good one.
because I don't think we've done Solo.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain this to me a little bit though.
so-
just a minute marker, and we guess what scene's happening in the movie.
At
so
that
you'd
time.
be like,
I like that. Okay.
but just guess like a random like here's 73.
Yeah,
So
I was
it'd be-
gonna say 17, 18.
17 is not a movie.
No. You said I
17,
pick the
18.
minute marker.
17, 18. Oh, so 17 minutes and 18 seconds.
18 seconds.
That's
It's
way
into
too
into
specific.
what?
Into The
So-
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
17 minutes and 18 seconds in The Force Awakens.
All right, we'll entertain you since you're new.
Did I not?
It's the
That's
Rey.
Rogue One.
No, it's Ray.
Silly. Oh, when she opens the curtain or whatever.
You
No,
think so?
I think it's already past that first battle.
I'm thinking that first little battle takes a little longer than you think. Not like I've ever said that before and been wrong about it.
Oh God.
So we'll
Wow.
see what happens.
So if you guys aren't familiar, we're episode 7. We're 17 and 18 seconds.
Yeah, I think Finn crashes the TIE fighter at that, or he's helping Poe escape at that point.
Oh.
Just
I
after
think you're
Rey.
missing a scene,
I
'cause
think
they-
it's just after Rey.
They 17 minutes. Okay.
Maybe.
I think you're a
were
little
my
far
first
ahead.
guess, but I think I changed my answer to Finn and Poe.
Okay.
I'm going to say Ray's getting some portions.
I think she's sliding.
First time getting portions.
Yes.
She's ski sliding down the sand slope.
Okay.
A lot of S's in that motherfucker right there.
That's what she's doing.
Okay, so final guesses?
That's it.
Yeah.
Because I think like
Did I
like
just get the game right, or did I break it?
No, you got
No,
it
that's
right.
it, exactly.
We don't really do seconds just because it's a little too
But I
specific.
like it.
My
but
bad.
I
My
like
bad.
it.
My bad.
no, I like it though. It's different. I think that beginning scene takes a lot longer than all of us think.
You might be right about that.
Because not only do they show the stormtroopers going to the planet, they land. You have to see Poe and McGivern talk about this is the map to Luke Skywalker. Then not only like do they come fly in, he does the stasis. Poe fucks around with his X-wing for like a minute and a half. Then he tells C-3P, the round one, to get the fuck out of there.
C-3P ball.
Yeah, I really think, and the issue is, I just watched that one like 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
So I
it's
do
fresh.
remember, yeah, that first scene lasts a while.
I think it's shorter than we think it is.
All right, so sandboarding.
Sandboarding.
Yours
I'm
is
going with Finn and Poe like escaping.
from the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say portions for the first time.
Portions is way off.
Let's see.
Samsonite. I was way off.
I was way off. Yeah, portions is way off. So I'm at 14. She's already eaten that fucking blow up bread.
Finn is not quite Poe.
Oh, sorry.
wait.
Uh-oh, here we
One
go.
of us is on to
No,
something.
that was at 20. Don't get too excited.
You might be right though.
Sorry, I got to rewind a little bit.
I think Cody might be closest.
No, this is the second portions though.
Oh.
Oh, it's the torture scene. Kylo is torturing
So
Poe
who
right now.
gets that one?
Interesting.
I still think
We're all off.
So
'Cause if
right
you
at,
go-
right at 17 is the torture scene.
Cody gets it because portions was probably the scene before this.
Nah, nobody wins though.
Well, I keep going back. How often do we see, or how close do we see sand? Just go back. Keep going. I want to see how far off I was, because it's sand. Right? Damn it!
Yeah.
So right before the torture scene,
It's-
it's like 16 minutes and 40. She's walking away with BB-8.
I was probably
Yeah.
like 2 minutes off.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So no one wins, but we're getting a little bit better every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
I don't know what to say to that. To be honest, this game sucks.
It's actually a great game. Everybody
It
loves
is.
it.
I
It's
kind of
very
enjoyed
challenging.
that.
It's a very challenging game, which is the good thing. I don't like easy games.
Yeah, we've gotten zero bad feedback
but
on this
it's
game.
but
so.
it's like Contra without the cheat code. You're gonna get fucked. It's one hit, you're dead, and you'll get 3 lives. How am I supposed to beat the fucking game?
You're not. Contra, you're not supposed to be Contra.
Are you familiar with Contra?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
He's beating Contra.
I have.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Not with
you're
3
not supposed
lives
to-
Yes, I have.
only, though.
Yes, I have.
You're
You're
a
not
liar.
supposed to do that.
Once.
You're a liar.
Yeah, it's as long as you defeat or go through a level without dying, you get an extra life.
You're a swindler.
So by like 4, because I can easily get to the snow level without dying, which is I think 4. And the snow one always fucks me up because there's random guys that pop up and shoot.
I can't remember the last time I played. It was probably like 6 years ago I played Contra, and I can't
Oh,
remember
mine
how
was
far
like
I got.
6 weeks ago.
Really?
I stay fresh. Stay very
I
fresh.
downloaded on my original Wii.
Your
Super
original
good.
Wii.
Yeah, on the virtual console. Super good.
Wait, what's a non-original Wii?
Like the
An us?
no,
Biggest hammer.
yeah. Well,
Them.
because like
My
you say,
Nintendo, them.
you say Wii now, and people just think you mean Nintendo.
No.
You don't think so?
A Wii is a Wii.
No, I think they're synonymous nowadays.
No.
You don't think so?
You're talking to drunk people.
Maybe.
Right now.
Maybe.
Or you're drunk talking to people.
That's a fact.
And they were just like, why are you talking to we? You think we're talking about? All right, I'm done with
Why are you
that.
talking to us?
David here in the chat seems pissed about a lot of things that happened with Disney because we're not getting a Star Wars film this year. I understand.
What's up, Blue Genitals?
Hey, blue genitals. That's hilarious.
Very
That's a
nice
shame, is
username.
what that is.
Fantastic username. David, I'm sorry you're so salty, but maybe you should have some beer too.
What happened? What's he talking about?
Oh, he's like looking forward to Star Wars film. Oh wait, Bob Iger decided to release Mary Poppins instead.
That's not up to him.
Can't wait for that Black Friday teaser trailer. Oh wait, there hasn't been an announcement.
You know what? It could have been a Kenobi movie this winter.
Stop.
I know. I should stop.
Yes. I think we'll get our trailer at Celebration in April. I have no problem with that. I like being kind of mysterious with the things.
We've discussed that. I think they're controlling it the way the fuck they want, and they're going to release it.
Reminding
I
David
know.
here.
I'm just saying, Disney is so big that they don't need to release. We were talking about this. They don't need to use the Super Bowl to release shit. Disney's
That's right.
big enough that they can do it at their own
Yeah.
shit. So
Yes.
they're going to be doing
That's
that
right.
at Celebration, where all the nerds are anyway. So
Let me just ask you guys
How could
this.
you?
Episode 9 is the next Star Wars movie. True or false?
yeah, that's
100% true, right?
Wait, what kind of question was that?
A yes or
Because
no.
I'm gonna ask a follow-up question. When do you think, and what do you think will be the next?
After 9, you're saying?
Yeah, because we thought we were gonna get something between 8 and 9.
Obi Kenobi.
You mean between 9 and whatever's after
Solo,
that?
or I mean Solo and 9 rather. Because we knew Solo was coming out this past year, but I thought we were gonna get another standalone movie in between.
They pushed Solo up to May, so we didn't.
Solo
Nothing was
supposed
going to
be
happen.
holiday season.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's
Nothing was
right.
gonna
That's
happen
right.
until
Now I
after
remember that now.
2019.
But still, so nothing's
What do
confirmed.
we think is going to pop out?
I assume it's going to be an
Because
Obi-Wan.
You
Ryan-
do think they're going to go through with it?
Ryan Johnson movie number 1.
You think it'll be
I
Obi-Wan?
don't. I really don't think that. I think they're going to bounce back and forth. Keep going. Trilogy off. David
maybe.
Lorenzo. Yeah, the TV series are next. We're just talking about the actual film releases.
Yeah, what do we think will be the next film?
Yeah, because that stuff releases probably along the same month-ish from 9.
I think the Clone Wars and the Mandalorian both come out before 9 do.
Mm-hmm.
I say,
Wow,
part 1 of Ryan Johnson's trilogy
What's
is the
the-
next feature film that we have.
What's the timing on that? So we've got Cassian, Mandalorian, and 9 probably within 6 months of each other?
Do you think Cassian comes out before 9?
No.
I don't think Cassian has a release date yet.
I don't
don't
think
think so
I
either.
literally think they just released that they're going to do one. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think
I think
so.
the Mandalorian they're filming now.
I think, honestly,
Well, yeah.
I think they
that's
do
obvious.
a Dooku movie.
No, they wouldn't.
That
I
would be-
wish.
And I'm not even the biggest Dooku fan, but that would be great.
I am.
I think they do a Dooku movie, meaning I'm putting it out there in the world that I hope they do a Dooku movie. Because I think if you're trying to tell a story about how Palpatine came to power, you should tell it through Dooku's eyes.
I like that because we've discussed how Dooku plays a really small part in the Plagueis book.
Right.
And
but
he's
it's
just there.
It's a key part.
Dude, he's talking straight to Plagueis. He
Yeah.
doesn't know he's Plagueis
Yeah.
at the time. But him, Qui-Gon, and Dooku are all in the same, and they're talking like
Right.
something's wrong, and things are, and the Jedi aren't doing quite what they
Right.
should be, and they're all like, "I agree."
Right.
You're like, what? Stop!
Yeah.
He's bad, but everyone thinks everything's true.
And it would be a way to satisfy the Plagueis fans who everybody wants. Dooku came in late, so why bother? I don't know. Ask Palpatine that question.
Dooku's one of the most interesting characters in Star Wars, in my humble opinion.
So
I agree because there's a lot to tell too.
They're all downplayed. So Fucko's right, which is Witch Hunter. I'm sorry. So Fucko's right because I think it was an issue with the prequels though. I think Grievous is downplayed. He controls the droid army and they're murdering.
You're right.
Everything.
He is downplayed in the prequels.
And then Dooku is like a slide in 3, and you're like, wait a second. Well, at the end of 2,
yeah. He's in
midway through. Yeah, he's in 2.
He's mentioned in the first part of the movie,
but he's not. Hey, he kind of has a weird place to me in 2. Even like he's like second in command, but also Grievous isn't there yet. And then you see the first thing you see in 3 is, well, Dooku does get his head cut off, and then you see Grievous.
Yeah,
Right.
but they used that animated series to set Grievous up
True.
when he was a true
Dooku-
savage.
and Dooku to a large degree.
Yes.
Like both Clone Wars explored both of those characters pretty well.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what I ended up doing, and you're more familiar with the Clone Wars than I am. The Grievous scene on Coruscant, capturing the Emperor or the Chancellor at the time. I didn't realize it was like 2 minutes before the end when Mace comes up and crushes him. I thought it was like somewhere in the last 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It was like 2 minutes before they're taking off.
Well, you're talking about the Tartakovsky Clone Wars
Yes.
for anybody who's not from the 2003 series.
Yeah.
Yes.
And 4. And
Which is legend now, right?
yeah, it's amazing though. It's
But
so good.
that doesn't happen in the newer ones.
Well, it like basically the last 15 seconds of the whole series are the first 15 seconds of episode 3 where
Yeah.
the starfighters fly in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it is Legends, and it's not even like
It's like accepted legends.
you
'cause
can't
it
even
just-
like buy it on Amazon for less than like $1 million now.
Well, it's also I'm probably gonna ruin it, but it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's the
In HD.
entirety.
Yeah,
It's like 2
2
hours.
hours long. Yeah,
It's so good.
So
it really is. Honestly, before the Clone Wars with Filoni finished, it was probably my favorite Star Wars anything.
Filoni's the first one.
No, second. Tartakovsky is the first one.
I can never remember
Paul
Tartakovsky.
Rudish and Genndy Tartakovsky. They're the team that did Samurai Jack.
And Dexter's Lab.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
and Powerpuff
interesting to
Girls.
know. I've never really made that connection. Usually, when I see a certain animation or animator, you can tell, like everything that the Family
Right.
Guy dude's done. You can tell it's like clearly
right.
the same animator.
And The Simpsons, same idea.
Hey, Jonathan, thank you. Awesome. Well,
Love
I
you
can't see the
guys.
rest of it.
Dooku and Yoda, that would be interesting. Like, how did Dooku... Basically, I want to know how Dooku, like, gave up on the Jedi.
So
Yeah, like when he quit the order.
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
Blanket said,
I'm
you should
ordering
probably
that.
quit.
I'm ordering that book right now. Sorry, fucko. That's why I'm distracted. I'm Cloak of Deception. He said.
I
I've
haven't
that.
read that, but Bede's always telling me I need to get down on that.
I'm about to read it right now.
I've read that
It's supposed to be a fucking good book.
because that's the one right before, or right after Dark Rendezvous.
No,
I
I think
think-
Cloak of Deception is right around episode 1.
Yo,
Oh
on,
no,
the,
Labyrinth of Evil is the one I'm thinking of.
on the
Sorry.
real, Dark Rendezvous is not that good.
See, I think Fucko likes
I'm gonna
that
read
one.
it anyways.
It's...
Tell me more, because about the Clone Wars. I want to hear not like tell me everything. What is your
upon a
favorite?
time in a galaxy far away.
What's your favorite part of the original one, the Tartakovsky?
Tartakovsky Clone Wars. I really liked initially that they were putting the clones in as like they had that whole scene in the beginning of each of the hours. They had a episode where the clones would like gear up like in the Batman movies,
Some Batman shit, yeah.
some fucking Batman shit.
Bat bulge.
And that was always really cool to me because it was always about the Jedi up until that point.
Mm-hmm. This is a very good point. Yo,
But-
Matt Keegan! Oh my God, what's up?
He said our commentary of the Ewok Nightmare was hilarious.
Ewok Nightmare is correct.
Well, part
Labyrinth
2
of Evil is a great book, by the way.
Part 2 is coming soon.
But it's
Kigo.
for patrons only.
Kigo's a patron.
He better be.
He's an absolute savage.
He's the only savage here, other
ready for
than the
part
rest of
2.
these guys.
Yo,
Ready for part
uh,
2, baby.
So
Props to you for choking through the first edition, though.
I think the better. So what I would recommend, and I can't believe I'm recommending this against us, but I would recommend watching it first. I think, and then watching us with it.
I don't think you could do that twice.
Yeah, twice.
I don't think anyone can handle that.
Man.
You're right. He makes a great point.
Party on. Back to the Clone Wars.
Drink upon it. That's the name of the episode.
Drink upon it.
That was fantastic. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you very much. That was great.
So what I've been recently super into Grievous.
Yeah.
I went on Wikipedia and kind of read up. No, actually, I think it was just on YouTube. And I watched this kind of like background of Grievous.
Like Sith Reign and Star Wars Explained.
I think it was Star Wars Explained and or Stupendous Wave.
Yeah.
Who we've had on, by the way. And then
Star Wars Explained will be on the show later this year.
And Hello Greedo was on. We've got a lot of
Hello
big
Greedo
names.
was a jerk.
When we've got Fode here. I am so...
our least favorite guest. Twice.
We need
3 times.
I'm my own least favorite
We need
guest.
someone slightly whiter than us so we feel...
AT chat. Thanks for jumping in. I know we've been chatting on Twitter. Thanks for hopping onto a live stream.
What's
we
up?
appreciate it.
So my question is, Grievous, what are your thoughts on Grievous throughout both of the...
Oh, I'm glad you asked this. I'm going to try and be brief, though, because I do have...
We have plenty of time.
We don't. We have a lot to talk about this episode.
I do have concise thoughts on it, though. I thought the way that they did Grievous in the first Clone Wars was a really good way to introduce him. I think the way that...
Why, though?
Because he was we knew in episode 3 before it came out that he was supposed to be this bad motherfucker.
Jedi killer. That's what he is.
Jedi killer, exactly. We saw the promo pictures of him with lightsabers in his cloak and stuff. And
Whoa, I'd like to see those promo pictures.
you remember like those like screenshots and stuff from Star Wars? Did you have a hyperspace membership back in the day?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, Pablo Hidalgo is
We
crying.
were mediocre Star Wars fans. Well, I wouldn't even say that. We were just not as balls deep as we are now.
Episode 3, episode 1 started it, but episode 3 was the thing that like just took me by the nuts. It was
So-
like Star Wars, bitch.
Hyperspace was the Star Wars fan club back when episodes 2 and 3 were coming out. And it was the online companion to the Insider magazine, and you got exclusive whatever.
Okay.
But they would send you screenshots and shit too. Nice. So Grievous was supposed to be this Jedi killer, and up until this point, all the Jedi we'd seen were bad motherfuckers. Like nobody was killing Jedi without being awesome too. Like Jango Fett was awesome, and he was killing Jedi. Dooku was awesome, and he was killing Jedi. Who else is killing Jedi? Fucking nobody up at this point.
Anakin Skywalker.
That's it, right? That Darth Vader, right? That's all we knew killed Jedi. So Grievous was a cool, cartoon Grievous. That's what I'm talking about right now.
Whoa.
He was a savage.
Am I just being retarded right now? Has Emperor Palpatine ever killed a Jedi?
Up until 3? I don't know.
I have to read Plagueis again, but I
probably
don't
hasn't had
think
to.
so.
What in 3?
He killed those like 17 Jedi that tried to arrest him.
Yeah, he killed
Oh,
Kit Fisto
yeah, yeah.
and
I
Ivan
was
Kolar and
like-
Sazi Teen.
I was fast forwarded to him against Yoda, and Yoda got away.
No, I mean,
so he killed Kit Fisto and the.
Not that we know of, I guess.
So he's got like 2 or 3.
He probably
Unless
hasn't had
Plagueis sent
to.
him on an errand to kill someone.
Well, if you want to include Mace, depending on your point of view.
So, I mean, to me, that was a good introduction of Grievous, but in the Filoni Clone Wars, the second edition, I don't think he was brought in as well as he could have been. However, over time, he kind of ended up being, scary and Grievousy and
I
shit.
think there's an issue that I have with all the cartoons, and it's not so much as they did Grievous wrong, it's that the good guys always win, and the bad guys are made to be bumbling fools. Even in Rebels, the Death fucking Troopers. They're called Death Troopers. They're all black. In Rogue One, they murder everybody. In Rebels, they're
did
just
nothing.
bumbling fools. They're just as bad as the Stormtroopers are. And I think that's just a problem with like the animated series in general.
No,
I agree with you.
that's a very good point, and that's a glaring difference. Well, I'm about to step on my own toes. I was gonna say that's a glaring difference between the original trilogy and the prequels, where the prequels really start bringing out like people are dying. I feel like in the original trilogy you don't really feel that. Like Alderaan blows up, but no one gives a fuck about Alderaan until Leia goes, "Oh," and then you're like, anyways. I feel like outside of the droids, which is where I was going to step on my own feet, because the droids are bumbling idiots.
Yeah.
But even that, the super battle droids are terrifying.
Yeah.
The droidekas are terrifying.
Yeah.
Like even, you got to think, Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi against 2.
They're
and
like,
they're like,
"Get the fuck outta here, dude."
And all of a sudden you're like, whoa. these are actual enemies.
Yeah.
This is an actual army.
Yeah.
Like, sure, the bumbling idiots and they're shooting, but then, there's other shit. The Hellfire stuff, you're like, oh, no, I'm not going to stand
I know.
anywhere near
Yeah,
a building.
I know.
So I think that's pretty cool. Dude, we got we should just record on fucking Tuesdays. We got everybody in here. Jammy.
What up, Shinobes? What up,
Jammy down here.
Jammy? Welcome back, man.
Fucko and Fuckum and
we
AT&T.
missed all of you so much.
I like your point on Dooku in so when he was introduced in the first one, he was a murdering asshole, and he just had. Now I can't remember specifically, but I just remember him against. There was like Ki-Adi-Mundi and like 12
and his
other
Padawan,
motherfuckers.
Shakti, and like 3 other Jedi.
There was like 5 or 6 Jedi, and they were hiding.
You're talking about Grievous.
Yeah, they were
Yes.
hiding
Oh, okay.
in terror.
I think you said Dooku, but
I might
I
have.
knew what you meant.
They were hiding in terror.
That's the first time Grievous pops
That's on
up.
Hypori.
Ki-Adi-Mundi.
And his Padawan and Shakti.
Well, his Padawan is fucking Shaggy from Scooby Doo,
Yeah,
and
he
he's
was,
a bumbling
yeah.
fool.
And Kakruk the Whiffid Jedi. And
Yep.
What?
Shakti.
Yeah. Oh, Kakruk? You don't know about Kakruk?
What Af's Jedi?
He's a Whiffid.
What is? I've never heard of a
Just the
Wiccan.
species.
Yeah.
We should
They're in Jabba's
watch
palace.
that. We should watch that thing. It's like an hour and a half each, so it's like 3 hours total, maybe even less than that.
No, it's an hour each.
Yeah, so
First one
it's
is
2
12
hours total.
3-minute episodes.
Look
Right?
at this guy.
No, 10.
12 3-minute episodes. Is that what you meant
No,
to
20,
say?
23-minute episodes. I'm sorry.
I know, I'm just
23-minute episodes, and the second one is 5 12-minute episodes.
No, but that's the first time we see Grievous. Like they're hiding in like a downed destroyer
Yeah.
or a CIS
it's-
ship or
yeah,
something
you're
like
right.
that.
Yeah, it's on a like.
And Grievous is like in the rafters, and of course they
he
can't
just like
sense
pops
him.
down and crushes a motherfucker.
Because he's a fucking
They can't
robot.
sense him like they could a normal enemy because he only has a few organs.
He's 99% droid.
Right, so he's not putting out like that much.
I
That
don't
he's
think he
an
has a
actual
fucking
organic.
heart. Like he has a brain. He has lungs. I don't think he has a heart. Does he have a heart?
I feel like he does.
Maybe he has a heart.
What's up, Carolina?
What up, preps?
Prepper. I'm a prepper. Oh, shit.
What a savage.
Oh, man.
But no, that's the first time Grievous shows up, and he kills everybody except for Shakti and Ki-Adi-Mundi.
It takes a gunship full of Spec Ops ARC troopers to fucking
Dude,
take
and
him
that's
out.
where I fell in love with the clones. Is the ARC troopers in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars
Yeah.
coming in and fucking everybody up?
It's
Yeah.
it's like the army
So
actually
great.
does something. They're there for something.
Yeah.
And it's
The
actually kind of
stormtroopers hit what they're aiming at.
So you know what's kind of funny is I thought about this a little bit just now. That if for whatever reason the droid army was stronger, I feel like Sidious would have played that and used the droid army going forward. Instead of the clone army was clearly better. I could transfer Dooku or Anakin to a clone army, or I could transfer them to the droid army. I don't care. Whichever one's more proficient or efficient.
That's an
Do you
interesting
think-
question.
I mean, it was kind of set up they had to go because of stormtroopers, but I'm just saying in a whole sense, if the clones weren't as good,
I think he had to make it seem like it was because of him that they won the war.
I guess no, that's a fair
So
point.
the Trade
because
Federation goes away, all the droids shut down, their ships shut down, the clones win, and now everybody's perception throughout the galaxy is that they won the war because of Palpatine.
Yeah.
Like I almost died, but we pulled through, and Darth Vader. Well, I guess no one knows about Darth Vader.
yeah,
Sorry.
I think Palpatine just had like he had
first,
side
baby.
bets going on every pot.
side
you know?
bets.
No, he
Like,
did.
He couldn't
Yeah,
lose.
I mean like
It's like a goddamn financial person
So if
from
he had
New York.
found out, like you said, that the droid army was stronger, that would have been the pot he bet on heavily. But he found out
would've
that it
spun
was
it in
not
a
the
way.
case, you know. And
Possibly, yeah.
then he decided eventually that what he thought was the best way wasn't, which was clones. He had to fucking go out and recruit stormtroopers anyway.
well, it's kind of like the same idea.
Well, he should have kept up the fucking clone program.
Well, yeah, it's expensive as fuck, I bet.
yeah,
but worth it.
Didn't they fucking go like bomb the shit out of Camino though?
Legends wise, yes.
Yeah.
Commander Cody actually went back and was in charge of Camino.
my second thought was I completely agree with that Palpatine thing, and he had his fingers in everything, and I feel like he played it just like he did with Dooku and Anakin. Why don't you two bitches fucking fight, and then whoever wins is gonna be mine. I don't
Yeah.
care if Dooku kills Anakin. You failed. Dooku's clearly the
Dooku
one.
wins. Boom.
You're already
Yeah.
mine.
Sorry,
it doesn't matter that you're 95 years old. We'll fucking Plagueis you.
Shinobi's trolling Fucko about Newt Gunray again. We love you.
Fucko's got
Yeah.
the biggest hard on for Newt Gunray.
No, I don't think the clones. Yeah, technically they didn't win, but what I'm saying is that by
It's not
shutting
that the
down,
clones won, but the troopers were the superior.
they were, but even above that, by shutting down all of the CIS, that made it seem to the public of the Republic
Yeah,
that the clones won the war and the droids were done.
Well, you know why they did that, because
Why?
there's
Tell
no
me why.
droids in the original trilogy, so they had to be like, whoa,
Well,
we don't,
yes.
because the real person,
Okay.
From
The
a
real-
writing standpoint,
Okay.
exactly. Well, that's the only reason, because
well, there's
the
no
real
clones
person,
in the original trilogy either,
fair argument,
but they
the
have the
real
fast
person,
aging shit.
a real person would have said, all right,
I don't talk
reprogram.
to real people.
They would have reprogrammed everything to fight for them, because all it is a software update.
Wait,
Yeah,
this shit isn't
that's true.
about real people?
Nope.
Oh,
ain't
I quit.
no such thing as real people, boy.
People aren't real.
Fucking quit.
All right, friends.
Screenwriting 101.
These are not the people
This is
you're
a-
looking
this
for.
is-
continuity.
This has been a great introduction to the show. I love these discussions, though. I do, honestly. We have a list of things that we may or may not get to. A lot of stuff has happened in the past, 10 days.
We could get to number 2 right away.
Happy Life Day,
Happy
everybody.
Life Day.
2 days ago was
Yeah.
the official 40th anniversary of the holiday special. So, cheers.
Chat.
It's a goddamn shame.
Cheers. How could you?
Because I know that's what they prefer.
I understand that you prefer that, but it ain't going to happen.
ATATCHAT.
You forgot the dash, man, and the space. How could you? Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. We'll see you on Twitter. So happy life to everybody. Cheers.
Cheers. I had my beer already. I cheersed it once.
I appreciate. I understand. I appreciate your discretion.
This guy's an ass hat.
I am.
Speaking of Life Day, if
Hey, where'd you get the idea for a backwards black hat?
think carefully before you speak. Mopar from Rogue Squad.
1995. Shaquille O'Neal wore one.
I don't
All right,
even
this
know
is
if I
enough.
should answer.
Nah, we're just gonna move right on.
Yeah.
So speaking of Life Day, if you have not seen our commentary for the holiday special, definitely recommend queuing that thing up, since you probably would never want to watch it otherwise. So that's on our podcast feed and on our website and on our YouTube. So
And that's the one commentary on the YouTubes that you can actually physically watch the entire thing.
very true.
Because there's no real copyright stuff
Because it would
about
be
it.
fucking criminal to copyright that shit.
Yeah, because Lucas wanted to burn all the copies of it and everything. So.
Now that personally is probably in my top 3 of our own commentary. The holiday special is legit, and it's so long, and I would highly recommend the one with commercials.
Yeah.
There's one with commercials built in from the
I've
70s.
seen the commercials, yeah.
It's fucking
It's better,
hoss.
for sure. The commercials make the holiday special.
International Ladies Garment
Palpable.
Workers Union.
Dude, it's
I
perfect.
just can't handle it. So yeah. So happy Life Day. If
Happy
you're
Life
looking
Day.
to celebrate, check that out, please.
Wookiee porn.
We have a few other things: Bohemian Rhapsody, a lot of Pokemon news, Fantastic Beasts 2. I wrote that, but I haven't seen it yet, so we're gonna ditch that. And then a lot of updates from the Star Wars shows: Mandalorian, Cassian Andor. We're gonna talk about that.
Did you guys see Bohemian
yeah.
Rhapsody yet?
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
I'm planning to see it tomorrow or Friday.
Please do. It was really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And then we got some news about the theme park that's coming up for Orlando. So we'll try to dive into as much of this as we have time for.
But we do have to continue off
Yes.
with the terrible news of Stan Lee passing away.
Stan.
He was, I think it was 95.
That sounds right.
Yeah, there are obvious reasons for how well Marvel's been doing and how prominent a lot of his characters have been within the past 30 years. Like, you go back, dude.
30.
Well, I'm just saying, like, in our
No,
lifetime
you're right, though.
specifically.
Like, the last 30 years has been a big push, but yeah, I mean...
Because you got to think about the cartoons that were happening in the 90s, the Spider-Man cartoons. How hands-on was he with the X-Men stuff?
I couldn't say. I'm not a huge comic
It's still-
aficionado.
it's still-
Chris
sparked.
Claremont did
Yes.
all the original X-Men stuff.
It still sparked from him.
It
so,
did, yes. This
and-
would actually be. I'm going to plug another podcast, and
Okay.
it's rare that I listen to like the bigger, more like radio style podcasts. But there's a show called Business Wars, and they do different seasons. So they do like Pepsi versus Coke and Ford versus Chevy and shit like that. One of the seasons is Marvel versus DC, and it was really interesting. That's the one I started with, and there's a lot of stuff in there about like how DC was crushing it with Superman and Batman, and Marvel was like about to go bankrupt.
in the 90s?
And no, in like the 50s.
way earlier, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like Stan Lee's the only dude left at the company besides
Yeah.
the owner because they're doing that bad. and they find a way, and Stan Lee writes these new characters and comes up with the Avengers and everything, and brings things back and starts these characters. It's really interesting. So
somebody posted recently. It wasn't really a meme. It was just like a picture or something, and it was like things Stan Lee taught me. It was like hating other people for being different is bad. It's like using your power for good is good. Using your power for bad is super bad. It's like these are like at a time like the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, people were not treating each other like that.
yeah.
Yet Stan Lee was only writing about people who treated each other that way or fought against people who didn't treat each other that way.
No, that's a good point. I mean, I also learned a lot of that stuff from Kenan and Kel.
I usually turn to Blue's Clues
Yeah,
for my moral
Clarissa
lessons.
explains it all.
Yes.
And Kenan and Kel. But yeah.
All credibility just went right out the window.
But I think 100% like his character was Spider-Man, and that has always been one of my favorite
One of his mains.
favorites. Because even like for how successful Iron Man has been, he's never been like
no, that's
my
a-
favorite.
that's a new thing.
That's 10 years old. That's
That's
not
a new
old.
thing. Iron Man was
Yeah.
never one of the main characters.
Not at all.
in Avengers.
At
in
all.
Marvel in general.
Iron Man was like not a loved character.
That's
for
why
a
if you
long
look
time.
back to like 07, 08, when they announced that Iron Man was going to be the first of the Marvel movies, everyone was like, this is going to fucking
Yeah, what the
fail.
fuck are they doing?
No one cares about Iron
But
Man.
Iron Man's been around since the 60s.
He has, but
Right.
he hasn't. He's not like on Spider-Man
Okay,
level.
so Iron Man has been like, you know how like Gambit would
Yeah.
not be Gambit if it weren't for the X-Men?
Well, Gambit was also a lot bigger than people realized early on, I thought.
But because of the X-Men.
That doesn't make any sense.
It does, if I tell it to you this way.
Here we go.
Iron Man didn't matter at all except for that he was a big part of the Avengers. So, if it
So
weren't-
aside from the group.
Yeah, aside from the group, Iron Man didn't really have a huge following.
What's
But
up,
now
John?
he does.
What's up, John?
Thanks, John.
Tobey Maguire's the best. Man, him.
I disagree.
Come on, Tom Holland.
John
come
and
on.
Kerner, man. I don't
Tom
know what
Holland serves good beer. He fucking
Now, what I will say is that I don't hate those movies going back and watching them.
No,
You know what's
Not
no,
by any stretch, but
I mean, three
so
is bad. But
Let me
I don't
ask
hate
this
it.
because I think
Interject.
John Holland. I think
Tom
I would have
Holland.
said Tom Holland. I'm sorry.
Whatever. John.
I said
Tom.
John and
White boy name. Insert white
Simone.
boy name here.
John Holland.
John Toby Holland McGuire.
I would assume is all three of our favorite. Like he plays the perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
What about between the other two?
Garfield.
I don't think Garfield's even. No, not even a. Are you fucking kidding me?
See, I have never read comics. I don't
Okay.
read them. I don't
That's
know
a
the
fair-
true
that's a fair
backstory of Batman or Spider-Man or any of these people. So I'm saying just
if you
from,
read comics, it's not even a contest between
Right.
the two.
No, I understand that,
But
but I don't.
film
so I'm picking Andrew
film
Garfield.
wise, Andrew Garfield's a better
I'm
Spider-Man.
simply-
I agree with you on that.
I'm simply saying Garfield because Tobey Maguire's way too old.
No, that's a good point.
And I've
fucking had a
always-
receding hairline at
That's-
like
Yeah.
16 years old.
Well,
Yeah.
not only that, but he like physically does not look like Spider-Man.
No,
Like,
he
I'm always
doesn't.
like a gangly, awkward teen, maybe a little smaller than
Yeah.
most.
Yeah.
And the dude was like all of a
But
sudden
Andrew
jacked
Garfield,
and-
Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was already like a popular, handsome dude.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And
That
and he was
bothers me.
and he had a cockiness about him
Yeah.
that you're like that doesn't quite
You're supposed
fit.
to
You
be
didn't
like
earn that
awkward
shit,
and-
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, but I do think I would.
I think
how
that's
I would
why
do it.
Tom Holland is the best
would
because he
do it-
balances both sides. He balances the geeky with the handsome, like devil.
Well, here's what I'll say off of what Carolina Prepper says. Like Toby was a good Spider-Man for like an adult
Agreed.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, agreed.
But when you're doing an origin story,
Right.
it starts with Peter being
Very true.
like 16 or whatever.
Yeah,
the fuck.
if it was like a Spider-Man
Maguire?
after years of fighting Venom already or some
Tobey
shit.
Maguire's made of cardboard. He's been great
That's
in all
possible.
of his movies, though.
That's possible.
No, I think that's very.
That's a good assessment.
He is pissed. Toby is a garbage Spider-Man. Jesus. Let's dial this back a second to
the
Mr. Unless you have one
Real
wrap
quick,
up for
the weird thing
Mr.
is,
Spider-Man.
like you said,
As we said,
Commander.
yes, the one and
I will
only.
still sit and watch those Spider-Man movies. Maybe
Yeah.
not like 3,
I just did watch it 2 weeks ago.
but they're not
It
like
was dog shit, but I
unwatchable.
got through
No,
it.
not at all.
When you
It's
start
better than Ewoks.
when you start looking back, I can still watch those. So that's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
There's a lot of credit to all of them.
Spider-Man 1's a good fucking movie.
Yeah, yeah, for
With
sure.
fucking
that's
Willem
what-
Dafoe as Green Goblin.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, Jesus
Well,
Christ.
that's what happens when you make a good film. Like
Yeah.
you may not even be a perfect Spider-Man, but they'll build everything around you. The storyline is going to be great. They're going to have a smoke show
of a Mary Jane, except Emma Watson. Look, Kirsten Dunst, maybe not.
Yeah. Emma Watson.
Better than
They should just have Gal Gadot do every fucking thing from
Gal
here on
Gadot
out.
as Mary Jane.
That's enough.
Do you disagree?
No comment.
She could play Superman. I don't give a fuck.
In all honesty, both of those first two Spider-Man movies were really fucking good movies.
Yeah. Well, and all this is just stemmed off of Stan Lee
Just
passing
Stan
away.
Lee, yeah,
So props to him.
There is one awesome thing I would say is like, dude was 95.
Living
he
it.
made it.
Living
and did
it.
cameos
Wrote
until the end.
Cameos in every single Marvel movie that ever has been. Made some of the best superheroes, best storylines ever. Made Marvel what it is, basically.
But superheroes that were real people too. That's the big takeaway from Marvel for me.
That's one thing that I really got from that Business Wars show is talking about why he thought of the characters the way he did. Like when one of the big reasons that we hate Superman.
Oh, Superman's
From back
the worst.
in the day is like it was
Superman's
a
the
bland
worst.
character that's just like
There's no
he has
struggles.
powers and he fights the bad guys.
All right,
Yeah.
you're right. Emma wasn't Mary Jane. She
Like-
was Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
you're right.
Like, and there wasn't much
But D is an ass like
internal
that.
struggle there with those original.
Firefight for God's sakes.
All right, you just threw me off of everything. You just threw me off of everything. I know what that's from too.
There was a fire.
Okay, that's enough.
God.
But yeah, so
See,
at least we can
Stanley
say
will be missed,
Mr.
man,
Keegan's-
for many, many reasons.
Keegan's
Yes.
on top of it. You know, and let's get just deeper into that. Let's get deeper in, and we've talked
Into
about DC and Marvel so many times, and I'm not talking about what's your favorite or anything like that. But what are the differences?
Well, what I was just getting to is like he was kind of coming off of DC was leading as far as like a powerhouse superhero magazine comic book thing back in the day.
You got to think 99% of it was Batman.
A lot of it was Superman
And
actually,
Superman.
back in the day.
I never thought Superman was
But Superman
that
was
big.
No,
action.
but when I say back in
Superman
the
was
day, I'm
Action
talking
Comics
about
originally.
Like, I'm talking about like the
Yeah.
40s.
Well, action. It was I agree. So it was
Superman
like
was Action Comics, and I believe Action Comics
Detective.
got enveloped by DC.
They were poor as fuck, and they sold the rights to
Right.
Superman to DC for
Right,
like
right.
$500 fucking dollars.
well, they made bank.
Yeah,
But then they came up with Batman, who was a real person. Like Batman didn't have any superpowers or anything.
You know what's weird? So that's
His
actually
superpower's money.
that's actually going to be my argument. Not my argument, but my point of view, I guess. Batman is also my favorite, Mr. John. When I think about Stan Lee's creations and Marvel in general, I think the word superhero. When I think DC, I don't necessarily think the word superhero.
Really?
I always feel like, because I always base it first of all off of Batman, who's just a guy. We talked about that.
I think
but-
Batman's the exception, but I want to hear your
But
point.
it's something along the lines where most of the characters in Marvel obtain a power.
Superness is forced onto them.
Superman is an alien.
He was born that way.
Diana
It's a
is
half god.
is a half goddess. Like they are born with this.
Yeah.
They're just in Batman's
Yeah.
house, basically. They're in Batman's world.
right.
So I always thought like it's a demigod and an alien with Bruce Wayne. When
That's
I thought,
interesting.
when I always think about Marvel, the word superhero is so prominent. He obtained this power. He got poisoned with this. His face melted off. So he's known face man melt.
I always thought of it as the opposite, but with the same reasoning. So, like, I always thought DC was more the superhero thing because their conflicts and their storylines were always so intergalactic and fucking outrageous. But then I see what you're saying, because with Marvel, it's like these things happen to ordinary people that made them extraordinary. That is what the super thing is all about.
That's that's the exact reasoning too. I was
Yeah.
gonna say that, but then you said it.
Well, you
for
know,
me.
I knew it was like a fucking straw from your brain to mine.
I think the huge impact of Stan Lee is that back when comics in like the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, it was very much Superman's a good guy. He's an alien. He's all
Right.
powerful. He fights the bad guys.
Right.
Stan Lee is the one that stepped in and brought human struggles and issues like that into a superhero storyline and made it look like he's not just the good guy. He has this power, he struggles with it, he has issues with, the person that he's in love with because of the powers that he has, and that creates like an
Can't
entire
tell his aunt about his
Stuff like
crime
that.
fighting.
yeah, and I think that was like a huge
He's got zits
shifting
and
point.
shit trying to go to prom with the fucking
know-
hottest
you know
lady at
what's weird?
school.
Yes.
Well, actually, after saying all that, that almost reinforces what I was saying. Was it's normal people getting superpowers, but also dealing with very normal people stuff.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man's still going to high school.
Yeah.
Superman could blow up a planet
Flash
with his eyeballs.
Thompson's still fucking shooting spitballs at Spider-Man.
But outside of Lois Lane, he really doesn't have to deal with the everyday work.
Yeah.
Like, he plays.
No, he does. Because his dad, from what I've gotten from the movies, his dad has raised them to try to fit into that life and control his power so he can
But he doesn't.
blend in. But he does. He works at a newspaper.
All right,
Who works at a newspaper in 2018? He should be working for Twitter.
All right, let's just go through them. Bruce Wayne has Alfred and no one else, so he doesn't have to play a normal human. Diana lives on a fucking island by
Bruce Wayne
herself.
runs the biggest company in the world.
He doesn't. He
Yeah, he
owns
does.
the biggest company. Alfred runs all that shit and
No.
Dude,
No.
Sabotage Fox plays. He does all that.
He runs the R&D. I think it depends on the storyline and the timeline whether Bruce Wayne is explicitly involved in the company or if he just owns it and somebody else runs it.
I see John over here. He said, let's talk about Marvel can do multiple timelines, yet when it comes to Star Wars, it can't give us legends.
This dude has just been pissed since day one.
I don't know. I think that's I think there's a point for and against that. Like, I think Marvel being superheroes, it kind of lends itself to like telling what if stories. But Star Wars has always been a very linear timeline. So I understand, like, I get that you want certain and I want certain legend stories told too. But
the thing is, if you want a multiple
tough.
timeline, the story is written. Consider it a multiple timeline if you want.
yeah, no, that's true.
It's there.
You could
There's
just headcanon it.
There's just no link to it. That's all.
Well,
That's all they're
if it's a
asking
multiple-
for.
Yeah,
is-
no,
is-
I understand.
Is some
yeah.
way to link
You
it.
want to see Darth Bane in the next animated show.
No, I don't
You
know.
know?
I to be honest, the idea of like alternate dimensions or like the DC 52 where there's like 52
Yeah,
different
he's right.
universes.
Star Wars did have infinities, which was like the Marvel What If series back in the day.
That's because Marvel had it, and they were just trying to make 47 universes
This
about
was
that
when they
shit.
still
Put
had
Batman and
This
Luke
is when
Skywalker.
Dark Horse still had the Star Wars license.
I personally am not a fan of like the alternate dimension shit.
No, I'm not either, which is why I never read DC that much. But
Personally, that's just me.
Marvel
But
did its fair share of alternate dimensions too, man. Age of Apocalypse was a fucking.
But again,
clusterfuck.
I was never a comic book reader, so I don't give a shit
Yeah,
about that.
Maybe not we. I assume at the end of Infinity War Part
How
1
dare you assume?
was a reset. Where Doctor Strange knew that the only way these people had to die, and something that he did with the time stone that was going to reset everything, and everybody was going to be born on fucking Apatos, and then are going to come to. It's going to be a whole nother timeline. That is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but with events like that where he gets the fucking stones that were birthed from the universe and destroys half of everything, that's a reset button. It's not like you're bridging into another timeline where here's another Iron Man, but he's slightly different, and here's another all these characters like duplicated but slightly different.
I
in
don't
this
think
different
Star
universe.
Wars lends itself to that very well.
I just think that's a dumb idea in general.
There's got to be the thing about Star Wars is there's a beginning, middle, and end.
That's right. It's very linear. I agree with you.
And that's for everything. Like, even that they all tie together, the prequels have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Like, the end is he becomes Darth Vader. Now we have 3 movies with Darth Vader instead. Now Darth Vader and the Emperor died. Now we have 3 more. So it's not like... And maybe it's linear in a character way, but it's also linear in a time way, too, I guess.
So John's over here still talking about infinities, and what I would say... I've never heard of infinities, but we are.
There was a flyer fight.
We are big fans of the Old Republic, and as far as like an alternate timeline or something goes in Star Wars, I would say like let's go back 4,000 years. Let's get in the Old Republic timeline. And if that shit isn't canon, we can still talk about it. And Revan is still awesome. Bane is still awesome.
Yeah, but they're
because
putting all those characters back into the Galaxy of Heroes game.
Yeah.
So the question is, what are they doing? Are they doing canon adjacent, which is kind of what he's talking about?
Yeah, and in that regard, that's fine. But to just start with Luke Skywalker's born, we have canon on one branch and then an entirely separate timeline on the other branch. It would be
interesting, though, to see some of our favorite Star Wars characters go back and tell stories that are legend stories. Like, what if, like, Qui-Gon Jinn was, like, telling Obi-Wan Kenobi a story about Darth Bane or about Darth Revan?
Or hinting to it.
Yeah, right. And it was just some fucking, like, half legends, half new fucking piece of material.
Like, Palpatine mentions Plagueis in 3. The Plagueis book is technically canon, but nothing's conflicting with that book right now. So is it Legends?
Yeah,
or
it's got the Legends banner,
is it
but
like semi-canon?
There's
nothing
Plagueis
that
is
conflicts.
Legends.
That's where I think that...
but it could very
Plagueis?
easily be put back into canon so quickly.
I agree. Plagueis himself is canon.
Yes,
because he's
canon.
mentioned.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yes.
Well, and he's only mentioned in story.
But that's what I'm saying.
We don't even get that he is
But that book is
The
Legends.
same Plagueis we read about.
Well, not only that, but he's not. They don't even say that he's Palpatine's
Correct.
master.
Correct.
He literally just says the
no,
story.
but in the Revenge of the Sith novelization, which is canon, they
We
do
are
say that
being
he's Palpatine's
alienated.
Sith master.
John, you need to calm down, man. We are being alienated. It's a fucking movie, man.
I don't know
I
if
don't
we're
know.
being alienated, but Star Killer, I don't know if I need Star Killer either.
I'm
I
not
mean,
a big
if-
fan of Starkiller.
If you like Bane, read the Bane books. If you like Starkiller, play Force Unleashed. If you like
Yep.
Plagueis, read the Plagueis book.
Yeah,
like
man.
the books are still there. I don't know.
No, and I think that's the point where, like, who cares what
I think
Disney
we're gonna get a lot of the stories we like back anyway.
I think so. Yeah.
in one way or another.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. The idea of us
Might not be
being,
the way we want.
the idea of us being alienated for wanting the Old Republic. I just don't think that's like a.
I think they're gonna do it. I mean,
That's
look
not
at
a-
all the Game of Thrones cast members that have been brought into fucking Star Wars. They're doing Benioff and like, how do you not
Game of Thrones
have,
crossover.
Yeah, I mean, if
Star
you're-
Wars comes to
if
Westeros.
you're crossing all this Game of Thrones like vibe with your Star Wars vibe, how are you not going to do Old Republic? You have Onderon still in canon. Onderon is Old Republic. The fact that it was brought into Clone Wars is fucking
You know
gas
what's one of
for
my
the tank.
favorite fucking things of all time is that in KOTOR, you go to Dantooine.
Twice, right? In both KOTOR
in
games.
episode 4,
Dantooine. The Republic base is on Dantooine.
Dantooine, and you're like, wait a minute.
Thank you,
They
Kigo.
destroyed this place.
Kigo just wants Kel Scarata and the boys from Republic Commando.
I think I agree with you on that.
That is my one. So, let's recap quickly. Initially, we complained about Disney getting Star Wars, and we have a movie, but not much else. I would say those fears have been very much put to rest. We have 32 novels, how many comics, how many young adult books, et cetera, et cetera. I think the canon is pretty rich nowadays. The one the one thing that I will still be annoyed about is the Republic Commando, because I think the idea of the clones learning the traditions of the Mando was huge. And the ARC troopers being complete badasses and the clones and the commandos and everything. I think losing that from the canon is still
But
really
we
fucking
didn't totally
shitty.
lose it. You know, they used Karen Travis as Mandoa in both Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah, but
And they used Republic Commandos in Clone Wars. And they
there's
have
commandos in Clone Wars.
He's talking.
and
All
they have they have Commandos in the new Clone Wars coming out in 2019. The Bad Batch, those are all Republic Commandos.
Now
Right,
listen,
right.
everybody who's live, John. We're
our
not.
troopers are life. I agree, Carolina.
Even though I think we disagree with a lot of what you're saying, please don't get turned off. You can have your opinion, and we do appreciate that.
That is the
'cause
thing about Star Wars. Like,
Everybody can.
we should
Well, he
disagree
also
about
just
things. That's what
capitalized-
these conversations come from.
He also just capitalized the movement.
Well, he can believe in whatever movement he wants. I don't give a fuck.
What movement is that? I do
don't
want to
have-
know.
I
I'm
don't-
curious.
I'm just saying, whatever. Anyway, back to you guys. Shinobi's always on top of it. Expanded universe movement.
Oh.
I mean, If you're a fan of the show or if you've ever listened to us, we preach Old Republic. We preach a lot of the expanded universe books.
You guys aren't against that by any stretch.
No, we aren't actually for a lot of it, but
we're
still.
not big fans of post Return of the Jedi EU though.
No, it's trash.
Yes.
The 90s stuff, a lot of the... I'm sorry.
But I think that's what a lot of the movement people are coming
But
from.
I'm still saying it was written for somebody. There's a lot of people out there.
And
I don't
no one
care.
came around and burned all the fucking books. Just keep reading them.
Yeah. And that's kind of my... I'm just
Sorry.
saying. Listen.
I'm going back and reading a bunch of Legends stuff recently. There's nothing wrong with that.
But it can live as legends, and you can still...
live as... And I like the idea of there being... quote-unquote legends in the Star Wars universe, like, oh,
the legend of Darth Plagueis the
exactly
drunk.
like somebody was telling somebody else in that galaxy far, far away about some fucking tall tale.
About some fucking.
They were talking about some fucking. You
I don't
wouldn't
know
believe
which
it.
Legends book that is, but I want to read it.
You wouldn't believe it.
It's called Shadows of the Empire, by the way. Yeah, Shadows of the Empire is the rapiest.
So we started this off with cheers to Stan Lee. Here, let's cheers to Stan Lee.
Triple extra cheers.
Triple extra cheers to
If
Stan.
you had to pick, let's do a favorite superhero and a favorite MCU movie, since we're not big comic book guys.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, for both.
I'm
a decently big comic book guy, but not anymore. I haven't read them in a while.
Well, are we gonna pick? So I don't know who he came up with and who he didn't. So are we just gonna say?
I'm just saying, in the general spirit of Stan Lee and Marvel, let's just say favorite Marvel superhero and favorite Marvel MCU movie.
Who wants to go first?
Spider-Man over here.
No. Well, I think actually I will say my favorite. That's hard because the X-Men is involved.
There's a lot of people in there too.
And
I would say X-Men could almost be one superhero.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. Spider-Man's probably my favorite, largely in part because of my childhood and watching the Spider-Man animated series. I think my favorite technical Marvel film is gonna be Logan. Logan, I still get hard just thinking about it. I will watch Logan even if I'm not in a superhero mindset because I will
say, as a huge Wolverine fan, the second time I watched Logan was 1,000% better than the first time I watched Logan.
What were the issues you had with it?
I didn't have any issues, just that it was 20 years too late.
Well, then
I
it's
wanted
just
that
perfect.
movie in 1999.
Yeah.
That's the only problem I had with it.
But it was
true.
perfect. Oh,
It was perfect, but I wanted it in 1999.
Well, you
That's the
got it
only
now. Be happy.
No, you're right, and that's why the second time I watched it, I think I got into it.
This is where I feel if Batman versus Superman haters would have watched the movie
I'm one of them.
and
by the
calmed
way.
down within like a week or two and watched it again, they would have had a totally different
I
perspective.
disagree. I hated both times I watched it.
It's one of my favorite superhero movies of all time.
I understand that. I agree. Especially if they took out what was his Apocalyptico?
If you know
What's his name?
Doomsday.
Dude, if they took that out, and I don't think they could have, but if they either slim that up or because it was just like Batman vs Superman, but also here's part 2 of the movie.
It was like Venom being thrown into Spider-Man 3. Like, what are you even doing here, bro?
Yeah, but I do enjoy most of the movie, and I love their depiction of Batman.
Yeah,
and actually, I love the depiction of all the superheroes.
I agree. Ben Affleck is phenomenal, and Christian Bale in Batman Begins was only slightly better.
We got off track.
Yeah, we did.
No,
sorry.
okay.
No, and it's good to hear you say that.
Okay, let me give you my favorite
About
hero.
The Ben Affleck.
Oh,
Batman.
I like
because
him
that's
as
funny
Batman.
because you didn't like that.
I hated
the movie, but the fact that you say that's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that before. Usually I hear it was trash because of Ben Affleck.
No, I thought I was super sad when they canceled his movie, his Batman movie.
I was too.
Yeah. So my favorite hero would I have a tie between Ghost Rider and Wolverine.
Okay.
Ghost Rider, I always had this attraction to heroes who made bad decisions and had to deal with them over the course of eternity.
Like anti-heroes, yeah.
Yeah. And when Wolverine is one of
Wolverine's the
those
same
people
thing.
too, exactly. He got a little fucked up one night after some Spec Ops nonsense, and his Spec Ops old homies came back and ruined his life.
Is Daredevil? Yeah, Daredevil's
Series.
Marvel.
Daredevil and
Cody
I don't know
Long,
if he's
hey?
being facetious or not, but I actually really like that first Daredevil movie.
Really?
I do. Yeah, with Ben Affleck as Daredevil. I mean, it's campy. It's maybe not the best movie ever, but
I feel like that whole era of superhero movies was kind of campy.
It was kind of tough to get through.
You had like Green Lantern, you had Elektra, and
but at the same time,
fucking
my favorite Marvel movie, I'd have to tie it between the new Spider-Man movie and the first X-Men movie from 2000.
Whoa! So Homecoming all the way back to X1.
I really like X2.
X2
a lot.
It's better than X1, but X1 opened the door for it, And Blade really in 1998 opened the door for X-Men.
I've never
1.
seen those, and I've heard a lot of good things about Blade.
I've never seen it
I'm one
either.
of those people that likes all three of them.
Because they didn't have to make it like a superhero movie. It was more like a vampire
it was
movie.
a vampire movie that they could add the superhero into.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original
Prepper is digging you right now.
I
original
agree.
X-Men.
I mean, the original X-Men had like everything you kind of wanted out of a superhero movie at the time, And then it made
I want a meme, Echo. I want a meme. Give me some memes.
It made X-Men 2 that much more accessible. Like you could have Colossus turning into Colossus in X-Men 2 because X-Men 1 already did all the cool shit. Like you had Cyclops taking his visor off and shooting shit out of his eyes. You had Wolverine extending one claw in slow motion. Like all the stuff you wanted to see happened. And then X-Men 2 was like, okay, now what do you really want?
Right. No, that makes sense.
I don't even remember X2, and that's bad. Are they like recruiting people in X2? Or is that X3? That's where they're like.
That's
recruiting?
the one where that
Nightcrawler's in
that
X2.
military dude is trying to. What's he trying to do?
He invades the mansion and he's trying to steal
trying to
their
capture them.
mutants. Yeah, he's trying to capture all the mutants.
And he has this compound at Alkali Lake.
Wait a second.
Good memory.
Wait, Stryker's in 2, but he's also in
all
3,
the
right?
X-Men. He's Wolverine's
Yeah.
He's the guy that made him, right?
basically. Yeah.
I'm
He's the one that put the stuff in.
on a skeleton. Yeah.
Also,
I'm iffy on this shit.
how weird is it that I
not
just
weird at all, actually.
noticed that they had Alkali ripped open? Like, obviously, she got the stuff in it. In her.
Alkali. X-23.
23.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't, like, I've watched Logan so many times, but I didn't realize they actually showed a scene with her, like, flayed open, putting that stuff in. And I was like, I knew it had to have happened, but it was, I think it was from Logan's point of view, and he's watching it happen. And he was like,
Yeah.
like, flashback central.
Yeah.
X-23 is a great fucking character.
Dude!
dog.
Okay, let me go on a fucking rant.
Let me finish our little thing.
You'll get it. I'll forget. So, the woman...
Chat, remind me about my choice for Marvel.
The woman, crazy, terrifying scream, the war scream that X-23 does in Logan.
Oh, yeah, the little girl.
She's fucking going crazy.
Yeah.
As well as Rey in Episode 8.
Yeah.
When she's in the
I agree.
throne room and she's just, I'm like, that gives me chills
Which
to the
is done
bone.
as well as Hugh Jackman as Wolverine himself.
I've never heard him do that. I don't really like
He
him.
screams in every fucking Wolverine movie.
Yeah, he just kind of yells, but that it's that like scratchy, and I don't mean this in a bad way. It's like a scratchy female, like
like a mountain lion.
oh my god, no, it tears me. When I heard Ray do that, I was like, oh god, yes, whatever the fuck. And I don't mean that in a
Whatever the
sexual.
fuck you just did, do it again.
And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I'm just saying, like, that's what I want to hear. Like all the
man.
guys are screaming bloody murder, and you can't have emotion like that. She was just like, And I felt the same way about X-23 when I saw Logan and she did that scream. It was like saving Logan during that. Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just do that over and over.
Yeah, it was great.
All right. Yes.
All right, go
Commander.
for it, sir.
Am I up finally? You sure? Can I say
Actually,
it?
after
Can I say it? Actually, let's get on to DC right now,
you
please.
better brush your teeth.
I think movie is going to be Guardians for me.
Really?
I don't know if Stan had anything specifically to do with Guardians, but as far as MCU movies, Black Panther's really high. Infinity War is really high, but I feel like that's kind of a cop out for favorite. I think
though. Civil War.
that was up there for me too.
Civil War is phenomenal.
I still think
I think they could have been better.
I think-
I like it, but I do
I think
it could have
Civil
been
War
better.
was better than Infinity War.
on a particular mood, I could pick Civil War over Guardians. But just I had never seen anything like Guardians
Whoa,
as far
whoa,
as
whoa.
superheroes go ever before.
Is that a consensus between you two?
What?
Civil War was better than Infinity War?
I disagree with that.
I think it's way better.
Well, you just said Civil War could be your top, but Infinity War wouldn't?
I feel like Infinity War is kind of a heavy movie to pick as like,
That's a very good point.
You know what I mean? Like as far as like what
There's
you
a
would
lot.
watch as your favorite over and over again.
Dude,
There's like
it's 13 movies in one. You're watching so much shit happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like Guardians a lot.
Black Panther's solid though. I
Black
just
Panther's
watched that
real
for like
good.
the 5th time, and
I think
it's
the-
solid.
I think the only thing about Black Panther is I didn't know enough about him, so it didn't hit that.
Nobody really did.
Very
But
true.
I thought that was great though.
No,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
refreshing, but it didn't hit that like nostalgia string for me. Where when I'll watch a Spider-Man movie,
Yeah.
and you're like I get it.
Everybody wanted to be
I grew up
Spider-Man
with
when
this.
they were a kid.
Or any Batman movie, even if it's atrocious, you're like,
Batman, I get that feeling, but you know what? Maybe that's why I like, you know, Guardians and Black Panther and Civil War, because I was never into those characters as a kid.
Nobody was.
So it feels fresh. So
Truth
it's like
be told,
kind of new.
Guardians is probably
Well,
widely
Guardians
regarded as the
definitely.
worst Marvel title ever.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
No,
Guardians
maybe
of
not
the Galaxy?
but like of all the mainstream stuff now. Oh, absolutely, Guardians.
Oh, you
was
mean
the
comics wise?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
nobody fucking read Guardians.
They
Right.
should've-
No, that makes sense.
well, the weird thing to me, they should have simplified it. If they would have called the movie just Guardians,
No.
I would have been happy with it.
No,
Well, I don't think it matters.
Real quick before I forget, John, weird, my comments aren't showing up. It's because you're on Facebook. If you jump over to YouTube, for whatever reason, Facebook like updates half the time.
No,
so,
then he said, "Oh, never mind.
well,
Just get on YouTube anyways."
just get on YouTube. If Rogue Squad Pod, you get it.
So, I think Guardians for sure, and I honestly think for superhero, I would say Doctor Strange. I know I was really, really iffy about Doctor Strange early on, but I've fallen in love with his character.
Weird, dude.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that either.
Captain America was my runner-up.
I hate Captain America.
Really, he's a trash hog.
I fucking hate Captain.
Really?
I do not like Captain
I love
America
Captain
at all.
America.
trash hog.
I
You know,
love
you hear me
Captain
talk
America.
about Civil War. I do love that. That was one of my before Infinity War came out. That was like one of my favorite. It's still one of my favorite Marvel movies. But
Civil War did
I never
what,
liked Captain America.
Civil War
No.
did what everybody wanted a superhero movie to finally do, which
No.
is have a bunch of superpowered dudes hitting each other.
Nope.
You know, with superpowers.
The weird thing was, Spider-Man looked fucking unstoppable, and Ant-Man could do whatever the fuck he wants.
In Civil
That-
War,
And
if
I was
you think
actually
about
hap-
it though, Ant-Man should be able to do whatever the fuck
I
he
was
wants.
actually happy about that, but
Yeah.
seeing it, I was just like, wait, why do we need Cap? And why do we need Iron Man? They're all like, it's Fly Guy with missiles, and this dude's just kind of stronger than a human.
That's a fair
with
point.
a shield. This dude can fucking string you up to a missile. Like,
but
who
I
gives a
think
fuck?
part
Fair
of the
point.
point is that
they
Iron
all
Man,
have their things.
they all have their things, but Iron Man and Cap are the kind of people that lead teams.
Right.
Ant-Man's not leading anybody into fucking battle.
So
No.
the Tarkin and Admiral Diaz.
Like they may not be the strongest. I get it. They might not be the strongest heroes, but to compensate for that, they have what it takes to actually like lead a team.
Hey,
and
there
inspire
he
a
is.
team.
John Rave Blitz.
Thanks for tuning in, John. I know you're pissed about everything, but thanks for joining us.
I like the pink heart.
No, I like Doctor Strange a lot, man.
I
The idea that there is magic and power in the world that you can tap into without any gift whatsoever is fucking amazing.
You know
to
what's
me.
weird is I know that exists in the DC universe, but that's the reason why I don't. I'm sorry. That's the reason why I do enjoy DC a little better is because that stuff doesn't exist. It's a little more clear cut. At least the DC universe. I know there's like the animated stuff and there's like mystical ish stuff. But when you really look at it, and I think it kind of is going back to the point that I had earlier where it's alien, goddess, dude with money, whatever. And I know some of the villains might have a little bit more. By the way, I'm kind of confused, and I don't know, second thought on top of everything, I don't know how Aquaman fits into my theory because he's like a god of
He's like
water.
he's basically like fucking
Is
Neptune.
Is he
He's
a
an
demigod
Atlantean.
like Poseidon?
Yeah.
He's an offspring of
He,
Poseidon
yeah,
or
he's
something?
the king of the Atlanteans.
Yeah.
So that's still kind of... He didn't obtain the power. He was born into it. And
Correct.
okay.
It's cool that they take kind of like the mythology stuff and
Oh,
roll
yeah.
it into a superhero
Rock
stuff.
hard about that.
I love that. Same with Thor. all
No,
that stuff.
and that's actually one where I've never liked Thor, but I do like the fact
Thor
that
has
he
become
is...
an interesting character to me.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? I love all the small stuff that Marvel does, though. The fact that Cap could like move the hammer a little bit. You don't know how
Yeah,
awesome that is to
just
everybody.
to show that
Well, the
aspect
fact
of his
that
power.
he stopped Thanos' fist. in
I watched
Infinity
it
War.
over and
Oh,
over,
yeah.
and it's not a full swing.
Oh, please. All right, Star Wars. we would be remiss if we didn't get on to some other shit.
I have watched that, and he kind of just like it's almost like a shove, but he catches it and he stops it. The dude has like 4.5 cock rings.
He has the goddamn universe on his fist.
See, the issue I have with all of it is if he has the time stone, he can't lose.
But he forgets to use it until...
That's the one thing I'm trying to wrap my head around.
I don't think there's one good way to do that.
Not that he's human, but everybody's got human flaws in them, and you can't think about everything at the same time.
Right.
So you still have to make a decision. You still have to think about using the time stone to go back and correct your shit.
Yeah.
So if you don't, you're not
Well, like, and when they're on Titan and he's getting attacked by 10 superheroes at the same time,
overwhelmed real quick.
like, yeah, technically he could beat them all at once, but he's like caught off guard and like distracted and can't think about it all at once. That's a good way to put that.
clear mind.
Yeah. Yeah. He ain't no fucking Jedi.
Legends is my canon. Listen,
You can,
Dave.
yeah, just jerk off on those books all you want, man. Just keep reading them.
I do.
They're fucking. It's hard to turn the pages after a while.
Plagueis. you get
All right, we should get back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so next on my list was actually Pokemon, so we're gonna scroll right past that.
Let's get back to Star
And
Wars.
let's get back to Star Wars because I actually am quick little side note. I am gonna pick up the Switch on Black Friday. I've been excited about a few things. I haven't played Nintendo in fucking like 8 years. Regardless, new Pokemon's is out. Smash Bros is gonna be coming out. Dark Souls is on the Switch. Skyrim's on the Switch. I think I'm gonna be diving back into that. So we'll talk about some Pokemon next week after I play it for a few days.
The one thing I never ask anything for Christmas. The one thing I did ask, I have a DS, and I was like, just give me the newest Pokemon. I just want to rampage through some.
But the
shit.
newest one for Switch is back to the original, just 151, the same map and towns and everything as the
Man,
original.
I'll tell you
in
what.
3D, you could fucking ride on Charizard and he just floats around. It's so fucking sweet.
They are playing that money grab because they know the 30-somethings
All
that
those
grew up with that.
30-year-olds are trying to
We're
cash
trying to
in.
throw $50 at everybody who has a Pikachu commercial.
$50 per Pokemon times 151. Let's do it.
Very true, very true. I am with Carolina. I'm on the fence still. Since I have the Nintendo.
Before the Switch.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I have my Nintendo fixed through the DS that I can play all the Mario stuff. I can still play all Zelda. I can play all the,
Right,
you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if a Switch would be worth it for me.
I haven't had a Nintendo thing since the GameCube, so
I bought
been a
every
while.
system for Nintendo except the Switch since 64, and
Well, since the Wii.
no, since because I bought 64, I bought GameCube, I bought Wii, I bought Wii U,
Oh,
and I haven't bought
I
Switch. I even had an
forgot.
SNES,
I forgot about the
but
Wii
I never
U.
had a Virtual Boy, so I can't say every system.
Did
and-
you have an NES, the first one?
A long time ago, yeah, it hasn't worked
in Galaxy
in 20
far,
years.
far away.
But anyway,
There's a place in Columbus that redoes them, refurbishes the.
I mean, they make them in
Contact.
HD
Redo all
now,
of it,
but
buddy.
anyway,
Let me tell you.
I always want to give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt because I love like Zelda is one of my favorite properties, and Smash Brothers is awesome. GoldenEye, that's another one, but I just
Padilla,
I haven't-
I'm getting Eevee as well. Yes.
like
props.
I dropped thousands of dollars on Nintendo systems and not gotten thousands of dollars worth of games back out of the
That's because
deal.
you didn't buy an Xbox because they just have everything.
I don't Xbox, I PlayStation. I'm American.
But I'm buying Nintendo for like
That's a Japanese company.
I'm buying the Switch for Pokemon pretty much.
I just don't. That's the same thing every Nintendo system though. You buy it for the Smash Brothers game coming out. You buy it for Twilight Princess. You buy it for Skyward Sword. You buy it for Breath of the Wild.
I've heard of one of those.
well, that's the only reason to buy it was for a while was for the exclusives,
Exactly.
like the Nintendo games.
Exactly.
But now they have a bunch of other things that they ported
But
over
it's still,
to this.
I guarantee you, at the end of it all, it's going to be another Nintendo system that didn't
Quite live up.
exactly.
Well, I'll let you know next week.
I hope so. I hope I'm wrong because I've always been rooting for Nintendo.
I forgot the Wii U was a thing.
Yeah.
That's how bad I've been.
I still use my Wii. That's how I watch Netflix.
What is it?
Dude, it's fucking
It's
boss.
Wii. It's a second Wii. Like,
It's a Wii. It has like a touchscreen controller too.
oh,
It's kind of like halfway between the Wii and the Switch.
that makes
Yes,
sense.
exactly. Yeah.
What up, Buffalo Soldier?
Yeah, it's me. Oh, is that
hey, yo.
motherfucker?
Zachary Dvorak.
Oh no, I thought it was the other motherfucker.
No, Zachary Dvorak. Social security number 213846971.
Talking Bay 18-4.
You know, that's probably somebody's social security number.
It's mine.
Just
What do we
kidding.
got?
All right, so back to Star Wars news. We have a few things that have happened. Let's talk about the Disney Plus stuff. So we mentioned the Cassian Andor stuff last week. Disney Plus, that's the streaming service. The shit's coming out. Everybody knows that. And then once they announced that, we found out that Pedro Pascal is the lead in The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
For everybody that doesn't remember the actor's name, that is the Red Viper from Game of Thrones,
And he was
who got his face fucking crushed in by the mountain.
Javier in Narcos.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, Narcos is
I've
boss.
heard nothing but good things.
Narcos is
Same.
good shit.
But he's coming to Star Wars, and then Gina Carano, who was
Smoke Show in Deadpool.
Angel Dust, is that her name in Deadpool? Angel
Plus,
Dust.
I
Plus
think
she's
she-
a fucking
I think
legit
she-
MMA
I
fighter.
think she played fat
Or
ass.
was a legit
Well, she
MMA
is.
fighter.
Yes, she is. Yes, but her character in Deadpool was, I think, Angel Dust.
Yeah, I can't remember the name
But yeah,
of the
so
character.
she's coming to The Mandalorian as well.
Smoke Show in Deadpool.
So that's some interesting stuff, man.
That's strong vibes for the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah,
Strong vibes.
it's just nice to see that they're. It's not like they're making a TV streaming service and making it low budget. Like they're pulling all the stops that they would for a movie for this 10 episode series of this new show.
They better, right? I mean, they're paying
Well, yeah.
good directors. They're paying good storytellers.
Yes.
They need to, especially after Rebels kind of, I don't know, in my personal opinion, Rebels was like a big plate full of just above mediocrity.
Yes.
Resistance right now is, just fucking Resistance. It's nothing special.
Right.
So they need to really crack in there and really get it done.
But some would say if they were going to make a streaming service, they would kind of maybe phone it in a
Test
little
the
bit.
waters.
Test the waters.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that they're going all the fuck out
Mm-hmm.
with everything starting
All
from
the
day
fuck
one.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Gina's good.
I mean, we've said about casting choices before. Like, I really don't have a comment. I like both of those actors and the other stuff that they were in. It's way more to me about who the character is, how they fit in the story, how the director is going to interact
I
with
think
them.
the
Like,
director is the number one
I
thing.
really have no.
Well, we have a good list of directors lined up for the
Yeah.
first,
You
8
could
episodes?
have perfect casting.
You could put me in a Star Wars movie, and if it's a good director,
You
it
could
would
have
be terrible.
You could have perfect casting, as in DC. DC. I don't
Oh,
care.
you're right. No, I agree with you.
And the directing / story writing is just not there.
And you end up with Justice
And
League
you end up-
2017.
You end up,
2016.
yeah, you do. That's what
Yeah.
happens. Like the dude that plays Flash is Flash. The Ben Affleck is Batman. How can you go wrong with Henry Cavill? He is Superman. That's his name, right?
Cavill.
Cavill?
But whatever.
Like
Cavill's one of the
No,
caddies,
you're right.
remember?
yeah,
He looks just like a perfect
they are
human.
all perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like, I don't even know anything about Aquaman, but dude, he's a fucking Aquaman. Like, he's it. And you still fucked up.
Yeah. But I think for the Mandalorian...
What, for what? Justice League?
Oh yeah,
I'm curious to
I've
see
watched it twice,
That's
and it's
way more to do with them changing their minds, and then Zach couldn't
and
finish
trying to
it.
catch up with Marvel.
They should not
too
have
quick,
done that.
too quickly. Just do your own thing.
Yeah.
Make a good movie. That's all.
I'm curious actually to see if they're going to make Pedro Pascal, if they're going to take his helmet off ever. Or if he's going to be like the faceless hero. Like Hugo Weaving in V for Vendetta.
Right.
Like if you didn't know that was Hugo Weaving
Which I almost wish they would not have said that.
in the special features and stuff, that you wouldn't know that that's who it was.
Well,
if
whoa,
he
whoa,
is-
whoa, 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 whoa.
If he is the
We're-
lead and under the mask, I would prefer not to know.
We're
Right.
assuming that the lead is going to be a Mandalorian.
True.
You're right. It could be somebody totally different. That being said, I'm curious if he is in fact the Mandalorian. Are they gonna Are they gonna I'll quit beating it up over here. Are they gonna put his helmet on? Are they gonna keep it off most of the time? Are they gonna do some kind of thing where they try and cash in on his handsome looks? Or are they gonna make it totally about the person inside the helmet doing Mandalorian shit.
Well, if he is the main guy, then my hope for him being a clone is out. Because he's obviously not Tamara Morrison, so he's not a clone.
Right.
So I'm sad.
Wouldn't the clones be like 50 or 60 years old by this point?
Yeah, and not all Mandalorians are clones. That doesn't make any sense.
I know. But we talked about when this was announced that it would be cool if it was a rogue clone that
I'm all right.
found out his Mandalorian goodness.
That's what you said.
That's
I want it
what
to
I
be.
said.
That's what I want it to just be Mandalorian. Leave the clones the
I'm okay
fuck
with it
alone.
regardless.
I would love for it to just be some fucking gunslinger like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Space horses, Ewoks everywhere.
Yeah, man. Fuck it.
We got spaghetti westerns.
Fuck it.
As a matter of fact, the more I think about it, this John guy's right. I fucking hate it. It's terrible. I'm done with it. I'm done. I've had enough.
Oh my god. Is that it for the Mandalorian?
That's the only big updates. I'm still excited about it. I think the fact that it's called The Mandalorian, and
It's a good sign.
It's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be fucking great.
I agree with you.
John Favreau's gonna murder everything. It's gonna be great. Okay, and then the other news that we got was info about the theme park.
Yes.
So, well, first of all, we gotta plan some shit. We have to figure out when we're gonna be able to go there, and with a group. And I feel like it's gonna be sold out. Like whenever they open the park,
Disney does not sell out.
I feel like it will.
Just letting you know.
For Star Wars sells the fuck out. You better guarantee it. I think it will. Anyway, so info, they released a teaser video, kind of some drone footage going through the park, seeing some of the rides set up and the atmosphere and the sets and things like that. They had 2 rides that they kind of teased. One was, I think, called Smuggler's Run, and it was in the cockpit of the Falcon. The other was called Rise of the Resistance, and you're in a First Order Star Destroyer, and you see like a Resistance fleet come into space, like at the very beginning of a battle. So very just quick teasers. And then motherfucking John Williams is writing an entire score for the theme park.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
That was the music.
Jesus
Whose phone?
Fucking Christ.
How? Thank you.
Sorry, it's my vibrators activated by the followers.
That was actually
It's
John
probably my
Williams'
wife.
original score for Rogue
Yeah, it's
Squadron
my
podcast.
wife. When she calls me, it nullifies vibrate function.
You better turn that off.
Dog.
No,
if I
he-
want to
so-
stay married, I'll keep that shit on.
So yeah, so good old J Dubs is writing music for the park, which I think
brilliant.
is fucking awesome.
I think the idea of them doing a park, like I lived in California when they redid Star Tours, when Star Tours 2 or whatever the fuck it was called came out. And I still never went. I lived 20 minutes from Anaheim and I never went. So I really want to actually go this time, but I'm hoping it's
You
not
must.
just more Star Tours. I hope they actually do some new.
Did you see the video?
No,
You should watch it.
I really shouldn't because I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna get there.
My
What are you talking about?
My concern is so I saw I think a little bit of the inside the Falcon stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that line's gonna be fucking
That's
4
the-
days long.
that's
because
gonna be
there's
a
only
problem.
one Falcon they're building.
That's gonna be a problem.
If honestly, what they should do is just build 10 of them.
I did
Built-
wonder that.
Build let's just call it 5. Call 5 Falcon cockpits, and it could be inside of one building.
That's what I was
But when
thinking.
you walk in, it's your Falcon cockpit.
Well, have you been to Disney World?
Yeah,
How long since you've been there?
a long time, but I went twice.
But I feel like they think about shit like that. Like I feel like they know that it would just be clogged up all day, and they have a way to
Well,
kind of think about that. So I was thinking when I saw that little teaser, I was like, yeah, maybe cosmetically from the outside, there's one Falcon. But as soon as you go into the ride, you go in this lane, this lane, this lane. And there's like 18 cockpits that you can go into.
yeah, that was
Because there's no way they would have a ride with 6 seats in it.
well,
That would take 17 years for one day worth of people to go through.
People love this shit.
But I don't. Yeah, I know.
See you, John.
Thank you, John.
Peace.
Yeah, I'm scared. I want to go.
We're going.
I went.
It's guaranteed. We're going for sure. We have to. We're going to plan an outing. We're going to go.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think they're listen. Disney's going to do
trying to
nothing.
listen.
Disney's going to do nothing but good things for the Star Wars theme park.
Yeah.
That's what Disney does.
They've never done
That's-
that. Like Star Tours since day one has been a big fucking deal.
But think of the smallest thing, like Pirates of the Caribbean.
yeah,
Dude,
They built a movie
I've-
franchise on that ride.
right.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I've seen videos of their other shit, and they're like, oh, I am a fucking pirate. This is perfect. What do you think they're gonna do with there's an entire galaxy that they're bringing in.
So
They can do
yeah,
whatever the fuck they want.
so there's rides and themes and everything in the California Disneyland. In Disney World in Orlando, there's actually a Star Wars hotel. So it's set as if you're on like a space station or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think like Dexter Jetster's like coming in like, ah, can I get a Heineken? Oh,
They have people like whose
Dude, they would do shit
their
like
That's what
that.
I'm
job
saying.
is to role play that your experience is in a galaxy far, far away.
How if you're an actor or you love Star Wars, that would be the best fucking job.
That's your job right there.
What's your job? Act like C-3PO for 24 hours a fucking day.
I wake up, C-3PO. I go to bed, C-3PO.
Where is everything? I'm
I-
confused.
red leg, silver barn. I don't know.
Oh my god, dude! No, I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be fucking awesome.
New lightsaber technology. If only. If only.
God,
Alright.
I think it's gonna be fucking great.
What I want to do,
I'm very excited. What do you want to do?
since we have 2.5 minutes left, is instead of doing a whole 1 through 100 and the spin-offs in a row.
We do have a Star Wars Commonwealth question if you want to do that
Let's do that
instead of
first.
a ranking.
Let's do that. But
All
we're
right.
going to get to the ranking, but yeah, go ahead.
Are we doing do the ranking? Okay.
Yes.
So the Star Wars Commonwealth is going to start doing a monthly question from one of the fans
Mhm.
of the shows,
Awesome.
all the various shows. So the first one that we have is, I have it pulled up right here. So I'll read it off. With Star Wars Episode 9 a little over a year away, every Star Wars fan is in full speculation mode. We all have things we'd love to see in the final installment, but I see a huge focus on things we don't want to see. So like thinking about stuff that would be fucking terrible to throw in the movie. Reylo, for example, Force Ghosts stuff, Salvation of Ben Solo, etc., etc. The question is, looking back at both the OT and the prequels, what were some please don'ts of the final installments that both made it into the film and didn't make it into the film? Which scenes do you think were not wanted by the general audience, but years later are beloved? And of course, the opposite. So, like, if you were
So the question
on
is-
the
I have
verge
strong
of,
feelings and
if you had seen Attack of the Clones, on the verge of Revenge of the Sith, what do you like? Please don't do this in this movie. It's kind of hard for us to think about because we didn't really think about Star Wars like that back then. And then, of course, for the original trilogy, we weren't born. So, like, after Empire ends, Vader is Luke's father. What, going into Episode 6, would you be like, please don't put that shit in the movie?
Please don't make Leia his sister.
I'm sure that
He
was
just
on
made out
nobody's
with her
mind.
twice.
No, it was on nobody's mind, I guarantee.
That's all right. So
it's a tough question.
I think I'm gonna answer it in the only way I can is the please don'ts of Episode 9.
We can focus in on
Because I
that.
know he's saying looking back at the OT and the prequels, I think that's unfair because it's already done. Like
I
it's
can
hard
tell
to-
you on the prequels, but the OT I have no.
Go ahead on the
clue.
prequels then. I don't know if I have any feedback on the prequels. That's a hard one.
It
I
is
don't know
very
if I
hard,
had
man.
any please don'ts, but I was hoping, like, okay, here's one thing. I was hoping they wouldn't kill some of our like favorite or most prominent Jedi really quickly, and then in Revenge of the Sith, like 5 Jedi get shanked like right away. By
Not right
what?
away, but
Sazy Teen,
Who?
Kit Fisto, Agen Kolar, and then
Oh.
Mace Windu
But
minutes
it's the
later.
Emperor.
I understand. I like so.
I was
It was one of
actually-
those like, oh, I hope they don't. But then it happened. But then looking back at the film, I'm like, it's not that big a
Okay.
deal.
So beforehand though, you were
Right.
Please don't.
And then another one that I think is beloved now, and it's kind of OTN prequels, is when they put Hayden into Return of the Jedi as the Force Ghost Anakin. I loved it when it came out. Like when they announced that they were going to change that over for the DVD version, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking brilliant. And then it was hated by everybody who loved the original trilogy. And nowadays I feel like the Hayden in Return of the Jedi is equally loved and hated. It's
no,
not
I feel
really,
like it's still split.
Who
Yeah.
likes the Hayden in 6?
I think it's brilliant.
I have no comment.
I like it.
Yeah,
I think the
it's really
Dusty
good.
Donut that shows up, and I
I
know we
don't
always say
like
that.
him.
I can't
I don't-
stand it.
Yeah, he's definitely not the better choice.
First of all, it's supposed to be canon that Sith can't become. So you're suggesting...
I think that was changed in the last few issues of the Vader comic.
And I know the argument that, oh, he was saved right, like his last moments when he saw his son.
Right.
But fuck that. Everybody knew him as Hayden Christensen.
Right, that was the Jedi version.
Yes.
Right, I agree with you.
I 100%. There's a lot of faults for the special edition stuff. I will
Shinobi's
still,
not pleased about this.
No, Shinobi. Yeah, he's a mistake. Shinobi, you got it. No, I'm completely 100% fine with it, and I actually So if I watch the original one, I cringe.
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
When I see the older
Sebastian Shaw or whatever his name is.
guy. So
that's my prequel.
looking back now, if I'm looking back at the prequel trilogy, I think and this is just coming from now. It
I don't know if
wasn't.
I can answer this
It
question.
wasn't actually coming from back in the day because I was 8, coming into like episode 1.
Yeah.
I was 11, yeah.
You were the same.
You were
I
11.
guess I was 11. But I didn't have thought like
Actually, we were 10 because it came out in May, but keep going.
So I mean, to be fair, this is the shit that got us into Star Wars. I didn't have any.
Yeah, no, the prequels were
Stuff
a big
before.
deal for us.
But if I were to think back now, and if I had something that said "please don't," I would say don't put Anakin and Obi-Wan together from day one. I would want something, and I don't know how you would do it, but maybe they meet up. Like you find out who Anakin is. He gets trained by Qui-Gon. You could have Qui-Gon die in episode 1. I don't know, whatever way you want. And maybe in like episode 2, you hear that like Anakin gets absorbed into, well, his master died, Obi-Wan's Padawan died, or something along those lines. Now you are forced together because they are two very prominent-minded people, and I feel like they wouldn't naturally pair together. So my thing would be maybe slow the roll on the Anakin Obi-Wan relationship, even though episode 2 was probably the worst part of Anakin and Obi-Wan relationship.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when it should have come together and solidified, and then episode 3 would have been the you guys were so perfect in episode 2.
What happened?
What happened?
Yeah.
That's not a bad. It's not a bad.
Synopsis.
Yeah, I like
Whatever.
that.
I honestly can't even conceptualize that because, like you said, 47 times we were negative years old. For both of them, I wasn't thinking that way about Star Wars.
Don't get rid of every bad guy in every movie one at a time.
What time? I just wasn't thinking
Darth
about.
Maul's really cool. Let's get rid of him.
That's true. Well, he was talking about specifically like the final installments.
Don't have Yoda put down his fucking cane and then whip his dick out and fucking kill everything.
That's actually my favorite part about all of the Star Wars
You know
movies.
what's funny is, as a young dude,
It's not funny.
I loved seeing Yoda do anything.
Yeah, it's cool.
In episode 2, when that happened,
Yeah.
like looking back now, I kind of cringe at it because it's just like, what are you doing? And then he does that, and then he goes back to the fucking cane.
Well, he uses
But
the Force
then-
to be awesome.
True, and that's kind of where I legitimize it in my own mind. But episode 3 is even more so. You're like, he isn't that strong. He's just wise as fuck, and he can go toe to toe with the Emperor.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, he has a half step down from the Emperor.
I think he's a half step up, but he's 900
I
fucking years
kinda
old.
Whoa,
really
I want to hear
like-
this. I want to hear this.
Well, you're a saber expert.
Because you're actually the only person I've ever heard that said that you thought
Well,
Yoda had
okay.
the upper hand.
So full disclosure, I teach lightsaber combat, and the form
You are a Jedi.
they both practice the
You
same
are
form
a
of
Jedi.
lightsaber combat.
Mm-hmm.
So on the dark side part of it, Palpatine is the top.
Oh, you would say on the Force power side of it.
No, both. But he hates using his lightsaber. Palpatine,
He's probably not as nimble, or I mean, Palpatine's
He just
old.
hates it. It's not his thing. He'd rather just zap the shit out of you with his lightning, corrupt your soul, or some shit like that.
No, that's actually very dark,
Yeah,
and I
that's
love
100%
it.
Read you fucking
In-
Darth
but-
Plagueis sonnets
Yeah,
and shit.
instead of actually attacking you, he's just going to talk you into you hating yourself.
If you
You're
think
gonna
about
be like, "Oh, I
Palpatine
fucked
this
up."
way, Palpatine was the only person who could beat Darth Maul in a lightsaber fight.
That's not fair. I feel like Dooku could probably beat.
Palpatine had to teach Darth Maul how to use
That's
a
not
lightsaber.
true.
Yes, no, it's 100% true.
No. In Plagueis, Sidious had to hire murder like robots to. I don't know how it was to sell.
They didn't teach him how to use the lightsaber.
He tested them though.
Yes, Sidious taught him how to use the lightsaber. So if you're talking about that, this motherfucker knows what he's doing, right? But then you have Yoda on the light side aspect of it, doing the same type of lightsaber combat, and also hates using his lightsaber.
So they're equal opposites.
So they're equal opposites, exactly. They're antithesis. They're antithetical to each
Buffalo
other.
says Yoda. He wins.
It's only because his Xbox profile is Yoda.
Yoda is just a hair more proficient, but he's 900 years old versus Palpatine, who's just fucking a dickhead.
I think in general, I like the idea of Yoda not fighting and just mentoring people.
You think so?
I
Personally.
don't.
But whatever.
I did like that he fucking whipped
Back
his
to
dick
this.
out.
Episode 2 is my least favorite movie.
But you like the Yoda fight with
dude,
Dooku?
especially at the time.
Yeah.
Like
oh, yeah.
as a 13-year-old or whatever, what do I want to see?
Yoda.
That. The rest of the movie could go to hell, but that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Obi-Wan and Anakin look like a fucking bitch, and then Yoda walk in and fix everything.
Yeah.
Because that's the point of Yoda. You don't know anything, and your master's even fucking up. Obi-Wan's trying to be all badass over here, and he's fucking up. I gotta come in and fix his shit.
That's because Dooku is a savage.
You're both fired as
Dooku
Jedi.
is a
That's 'cause
savage.
Dooku is an absolute savage.
Yeah, he's a savage.
Anyway, so I can't really make a comment on, please don'ts for episodes 3 and 6. But looking ahead to episode 9, so one thing I really,
There can't be a love thing.
I really hope does not happen is the Reylo. Is the relationship
I
with Rey and with Ben.
I have a fear that they're also going to be forced into either they're lovers or they're related, and I hope to God it's neither.
I don't think
I agree.
related's gonna happen.
So that's my main
I understand the fear.
I have a lot of theories that could easily make it happen. Go ahead.
My main please don't is Reylo. If they twist it and they become like they have an understanding for one another, and Ben somehow gets redeemed and they understand, they're like, semi friends about things. What are you laughing at? They're not gonna be like fucking
mortal,
besties.
They're mortal enemies. They're like, they can just kind of become friends. Hey, you got an Xbox too?
It's like when James Bond has tea with his enemies.
It's like they share their
Oh, you fucked that bitch too? Yeah, choose. All right.
like they add their gamer tags but don't share their real name. Like that's the kind of friend status that I'm looking for.
Well, they kind of are already. Look at 8. Like they're FaceTiming through the Force, and they're like, at the first it was murder snake, and now he's
But
like,
then Rey was
just put on a
wrong,
shirt.
and
Just
Ben-
put on a shirt.
But then Rey was wrong, and Ben turned her down, and then she went back to the Resistance. That's what I'm saying. Like coming back from that and making them fall in love or something, fucking absolutely terrible. But if they have an understanding for one another and are friends, or grudgingly help each other out or something like that, I could understand that.
They did help each other out.
But I'm talking about moving forward, you drunk shit. That's my please don't.
I don't. Like
I don't
that
want
idea
Reylo.
either. I don't want a Reylo.
Go ahead.
either.
I don't want Reylo. But if they aren't fucking in love with each
If
other,
they aren't fucking, I'm gonna be pissed.
we'll see what happens.
All right. I would say.
Force Ghost Jamborees, though. That's the best thing I've ever heard.
See the. I don't know
What does
where
that
you read
even
that,
mean?
but I love it.
Like Luke is back as a Force Ghost to train Rey, and Anakin's back because he's
But
part of the
Mark
entire
Hamill's
trilogy.
already
And
in the cast
Obi-Wan's
list.
back.
Mark Hamill's
Please.
already in the cast list. He's coming back as a Force Ghost.
No,
If-
I know that,
If we
but-
haven't figured this out already, what the fuck are we doing?
I understand that, but is Kenobi also going to come back? And
No,
Anakin
no,
going
I
to come back?
completely agree. That's a
good-
huge.
That's a huge what if.
Please
If there's
don't.
3 fucking Force Ghosts standing around Rey, I'm going to be a little fucking concerned.
That's
Really?
yeah.
That's not a
gonna
please
look
don't for me. It's just a
1,000% awkward.
Well,
I don't
first of
think
all,
so.
I believe like 3 episodes ago he said, "Oh yeah, Force Ghost Council would be great."
It'd be interesting. I don't think it would look good on fucking film.
It would be interesting, but please
Yeah.
don't.
Okay.
I think in
My
episode
fanboy crotch wants that, but I don't think it would look good.
in episode 8,
My
I'm sorry,
fanboy
9.
crotch wanted Pamela Anderson at one time too.
No,
Good thing you never got
She's
that.
a person. Episode 9. What I don't want is I agree. They cannot do a fucking Force Ghost Jamboree. I actually don't want to see. I don't want to see Hayden. I feel bad saying that.
I know I'm iffy
because I do think they could use him in the right.
They could use him in the right way.
They
could use him.
I don't want to see him. I don't want to see Obi-Wan. I don't want to see Luke and Yoda. Your Force Ghost Jamboree. That's the worst thing. I don't. The whole purpose for this trilogy is to move forward, and with them keep constantly calling back, I'm like, come on. Now, let me ask you this. What if we saw a Force Ghost Snoke? Ah! No one's ever thought of that!
That'd be intense.
Because he called on...
I don't know. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
What would you do with it? What would he be doing?
What if...
Trying to get to Rey?
Whoa. Well, I just talked about this last episode. So I did the audiobook for The Force Awakens.
Did you?
During the Starkiller battle between Kylo and Rey, Rey knocked Kylo down. Snoke went into Rey's head and said, kill him.
I think B told me this. So
Kill
that's
him.
interesting now. So there's this whole theory that Snoke could have been like a Force vampire, basically feeding off of just other people's life, basically. Sort of like Marcus and Victor in Underworld.
I don't know what that is, but first of all, if he was feeding off Kylo, that makes so much sense.
Well, it would make a lot of
because
sense.
as soon as he kills him, Kylo would just be like,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
10
you would
times as
feel
strong.
more strong.
oh yeah, and because the rest of episode 8, he was a fucking monster, throwing people and fuck you and
Yeah,
Hawks, fuck
yeah.
this and this is mine.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard that theory. A force like a force
Like
vampire.
he said right there, Force leech. Basically
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like you're basically just feeding off of other people's consciousness. And if that was the case, I could see him coming back as not necessarily a Force ghost, but a Force like poltergeist or Force demon.
That'd be sweet.
You know, I could see that.
I think you're stretching it a little too far. I do like that though.
It's a stretch. It's definitely a stretch. So for me, the big please don't is the salvation of Ben Solo. Like, I'm one of those people that even though Darth Vader was redeemed, I don't think he should have been redeemed. I understand why it happened in the story, and it was great for the story, but Darth Vader did not deserve redemption.
I
Nope.
agree.
So
He murdered a bunch of fucking kids.
Dude, it took like 0 seconds for him to lose all source of redemption.
People
And
don't really think about that. Like that's a huge downfall for episode 6. Guys,
He didn't deserve that
we're
redemption
Star
at
Wars
all.
fans. 0%. I don't care if he was nice to his son for 20 seconds. I want to
Episode
say
six-
my
but-
own eyes.
That's
But
a big
episode-
reason episode 6 is like at the bottom of my list.
But episode 6 does do one thing that redeems that, which is that they kill him right away. So yes, he's redeemed. Yes, he's now a Jedi again, but he dies.
It's almost like the will of the dark side.
Right,
Like you can't be
exactly.
redeemed. It's the deed is done.
Yeah, exactly.
But at
So you
least
have
as
20
he's
seconds to say something
Right,
and get
right,
the
right.
Exactly.
It's not like he went back and tried to be a dad. to
Right,
Leia and
exactly.
shit. Yeah.
So it's, for me, that's where episode 6 like redeems itself in that. But I don't think Kylo has earned any redemption either.
God.
You know, and this motherfucker
Killed
like,
his dad.
He killed his dad. And his dad was doing nothing against him at the time. As a matter of fact, he stopped planting bombs
to talk
to
his
try
son.
and get you to come back home with him.
So let me ask you this, because
the one thing that I would say to Kylo, really quick, is that they have planted very spare seeds about his redemption by him
No, I think it's
being
going
called
to
to
happen.
the light and being iffy about killing his dad and can I do it and do I have the strength
I
and
think
should
it's
I do
going
this?
to happen. I
Well-
just don't want it to.
well, not even that, but you missed the biggest one, episode 8. He didn't actually shoot at Leia.
Right.
No,
He
that's true.
sensed her and didn't
Yeah.
press
Yep.
the fucking button.
They've been
Yep.
hinting that it could quite possibly happen.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it's a I don't want.
It has
If-
to be
if-
done right.
It would have to be done right, and I would have to say something else would have to happen. And
He'd have to earn it. He'd have to pay for it somehow.
Not
Yeah.
only that, my issue is the only reason that Kylo would go good is if they had a common enemy between Rey and Kylo. Like Hux is a psychopath,
Yeah.
and Hux hates Kylo.
Right.
Kylo's basically went to the dark side to kill Luke. Luke's dead.
Right.
Snoke's dead.
Right.
So now it's
His dad's
like
dead.
his dad is dead. So he kind of has this like in between wishy-washy. Where do I lie? Hux is still trying to blow shit up that doesn't mean anything to me. I never took orders from this fucker anyways.
Right.
And Hux tries to blow up like 7 planets, and Kylo's like, "This guy's crazy. I was in the wrong spot."
Wait, when does that happen?
Is that what you were saying?
Well, I'm just saying.
Like, if that would happen, like Hux goes to the extreme and tries to obliterate like an entire 7 systems.
Whoa.
And Kylo sees it and is like,
We're getting somewhere.
Wait.
We're getting
This is
somewhere.
way too far. This is not what I signed up for.
So, what if Hux tries to kill Leia? What if Hux tries to kill Rey?
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Where I think Kylo might be like, hold on, fucker.
That chick's-
You aren't even a part of this shit.
That chick's hot. You heard her battle cry. You're not going to go anywhere with her.
I still did.
All right, so back to the question that they asked is like,
I've not seen any fault with anybody's reasoning.
what's your please don't? It's the Ben redemption.
Yeah, I don't think.
And what could they do in 9 to make it actually like make sense for you?
If they did the Ben redemption right.
The Ben redemption.
Right. If they did it right.
but I agree. Like if he saw some
Man, I don't
super
even know.
evil with Hux and had to step in to prevent it, or if Hux was trying to go after Leia or Rey and he felt like he needed to
I think
prevent
the
that,
only way is
something
that
like
either he's horribly disfigured, sort of like Anakin
Who?
at the
Oh, I'm
end
sorry.
of Ben, like sort of like Anakin at the end of 3, and like Rey's like, well, listen, I'm gonna cut off all your limbs, and then if you're a good boy, like we'll let you come
Cookies.
home.
It's over, Ben. I have the medium ground.
Right. Or I think he has to die. Like if he's gonna get redeemed, he has to fucking die.
Well,
I
that's-
agree with that.
Redemption through sacrifice, I think, would be perfect.
Sacrifice.
Like if he sacrificed himself to save
Or
Rey,
even just his spirit, like who knows what that could mean. But like what if he gives himself over to the Force like Luke did in episode 8?
I don't think he's strong enough.
But who knows what situation could put him there, you know what I mean?
Who's done that so far? Obi-Wan and
Well, nobody on the dark side has done it that I know of.
right. It's just been Obi-Wan kind of give himself, and then Luke.
Right? Yeah. And Yoda knew it was happening.
Yoda does.
Yeah.
I'll give Yoda. Yeah.
But Yoda wasn't in a stressful like battle situation. Like,
Dooku
Yoda
does when
was
his
ready.
head pops off.
All right, so that's our Commonwealth question for the month.
No,
That's a tough
we need
It's
to
a
we
good
need-
question.
We need to hit that up more often. What I
Well,
want to
once
end
a month.
what I want to end with is instead of a full list, let's just do Disney list. So we got 4 movies.
Our
7, 8,
favorites of the
7,
new
8,
4.
Rogue and Solo. I want to see what, because I think this is one of those lists that I could understand everybody.
Mm.
And that might be my perception of the movies that have come out.
For us, number 4 does not necessarily mean bad in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
I would just probably rather watch.
But
well,
for
okay.
some people, number 4 will mean death and destruction and fuck this movie.
Actually, and I'll put a premise
Like
out there.
Steve or John, or the fuck his name was.
I'll put a premise out there. Favorite, because I do think
Sure.
more watchable is something to me that would mean a lot more. So let's just do favorite, top to bottom. Do you want to try, or I'll go first, or you go first? You got the apparatus, or
I'm good with just 4. 7, Solo.
Whoa, slow down.
7, Solo.
Is your top.
8, Rogue.
Oh, that pisses me off. Yeah.
But that's the hard thing. Is
I
like
know.
Rogue
They're
is
all-
in no way bad. I love the fucking movie. But if we're talking just the 4 newest ones, yeah. 7, Solo, 8, Rogue.
I got mine.
You go first.
7, Rogue, Solo, 8.
Nice. Wow. Nice.
Solo, Rogue, 7, 8.
Interesting.
So you and I agree on the 8 at least.
Yeah, Solo, Rogue, 7, 8. 7 doesn't do
Actually-
it for me the way it does for other people.
Actually, Rogue is second for me too.
Yeah. I mean, Solo for me is a nearly perfect Star Wars movie.
Whoa. You said Solo, Rogue, 7, 8?
Solo, Rogue, 7, 8.
Nice.
I love Rogue One.
Rogue One is phenomenal.
First of all, just as a movie, I'm not going to repeat it. Rogue One as a movie is one of the most watchable movies
He just
I've
said
ever
the same
seen.
thing.
Yeah, he put Last Jedi ahead of Force Awakens.
Oh, you said 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Shinobi's wrong.
So he said 8, 7.
Actually, to be fair, Shinobi, you are one of the ones that I've wow, 2 in a row.
2
with
in a row,
seven.
8-7.
7's last.
Solo Rogue 8-7. Wow.
Dude, 7 has issues for me.
Wow,
and a lot
okay.
of it comes down to the fact that, to me, it's just not an original film at all.
See, it's more of an original film to me than all of them.
Really?
To be fair,
Even than Solo?
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna? Yeah, Solo's a Star Wars story.
It's a basic coming-of-age story, but it's not the Solo movie I thought we were going to get.
It's not the one you expected. It's the one you needed.
Yeah, it's the one I needed. I love the movie. I mean, it's
Christopher Nolan,
it's
motherfucker,
my
right
number
there.
one movie.
Solo-
Rogue One is completely watchable from start to finish, except for
Kigo
Borgullet,
says
though.
Rogue Solo 7-8. Yeah.
I just have a big issue with all of the Forrest Whitaker scenes in Rogue One. He just
I
doesn't
actually
help.
like Forrest Whitaker and all that.
I don't think they wrote it well enough. I don't think they wrote his part well enough.
If that's the
I
issues
think
you
they
have with
did.
Rogue,
I think they did.
That's a small issue,
oh
though,
yeah.
right?
my main issue with Rogue One is that I just didn't care enough about the characters in the first bulk of the movie.
They didn't get you invested right away.
Yeah, not enough. Yeah.
I agree.
Upon rewatching it and knowing Jin's backstory and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
sure.
as a Star Wars fan, now I get it 100% and I can watch that movie every fucking day. But as
they
a
don't
movie
invest
itself,
you early enough. They don't give
Right.
you enough to care about.
right?
Yeah, when they sacrifice themselves at the end, you're just like, oh man, that sucks.
You started with 7,
7 Solo,
8 Rogue.
8 Rogue. Yes.
Really, Rogue is your last.
Yeah.
But that's hard because, well,
I fucking
guess,
love it.
I guess the two big flip floppers are: did you like Rogue One better than 8, or did you like 8 better than Rogue One? I think those are the two that are on the table.
I mean, I still think Rogue One visually has the best cinematography of all 4 of them.
Oh, we get Darth Vader murdering everybody.
You think the
No, I'm talking
cinematography?
cinematography.
Yeah. All that said,
Okay, so Rogue One had better cinematography than Solo, but not on purpose. I feel like Solo was a better movie cinematographically. I don't know if that's a real word, but I just made that shit up. But
Okay,
I
Mopar.
feel like the color palette of Solo hurt what they were able to do with the cinematography.
I wouldn't say the cut.
I disagree.
When you watch it on Blu-ray, it's a
what
lot
could
more
be
clear. It's a lot better.
displayed in a theater
Yeah.
hindered the movie for what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe cinematography is not the right word for me to say for Solo. Like, I just think visually, like, the effects and everything, like, looked so good. K2 looked like that fuck
Yeah,
was in a suit.
he looked real.
in there.
He looked real.
Yeah.
The only
And I
we've
like
talked
that a
about-
lot.
the
But
only-
I don't love the score.
the
And
only-
yeah.
No. The score was great. The
was fine.
downfall was like the really small things. Borgullet and
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker, which was still like
I liked
completely-
Forrest Whitaker, and there's tentacle shit in every Star Wars movie, so I don't care about that.
Lately, yeah.
I think the only downfall, well, for me to Rogue One, it was that you didn't really care. But with all that said, K2 made me cry more than any other Star Wars character ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
More than Yoda?
Oh yeah.
More than Han Solo?
I was ready for him to die. Han Solo was ready for him to die.
I know that.
Grabs
but-
Granite over here agrees with me. Didn't really care about the characters in Rogue One until multiple viewings.
Until multiple viewings. Now Rogue One's the top one. Thank you, Grabs.
But
for
that's what
tuning
I'm
in.
saying. That's what I mean. As a Star Wars fan, yeah, now
Say it again slowly.
I hate
Se-
Rogue
no,
One.
7.
I hate Rogue
7.
One. 7 Solo, 8 Rogue.
I still can't think of it. Okay. Say it again slowly.
Solo, Rogue, 7, 8.
Solo's number 1. 7.
Solo, Rogue.
Whoa.
7, 8.
All right.
Yeah.
And I have 7, Rogue, Solo 8. That's a good mix. It's a
For
good
me,
mix.
7 and 8 are so close to each other. It's almost not fair to put one in front of the other.
See, I'm the opposite because I have 7 first and 8 last.
Yeah.
Rogue One is the best film outside the OT.
Oh, because it had X-Wings and Starfighters and fucking TIE Fighters and Star Destroyers and Death Star.
That part of it, I agree. And for me, Solo...
Rogue One's my second.
Solo is only better because I think Han Solo was done perfectly in that movie. I mean,
I like Han way more because of Solo.
it's phenomenal fucking deal.
Yeah.
But
I like Chewie a
I
lot more.
did want a
Both.
little bit more of that like starfighter thing. Like I wanted to see Han in a TIE fighter.
That was a
doing shit.
cutscene.
I know
Yeah.
it's a cutscene.
That would have been great
And
to
I
have in
wanted
there.
to see that shit happen because
Yeah.
that's what Rogue One had that the Solo film was missing by just a little
We've
bit.
only seen Han fly
The Falcon.
The Falcon.
and then fly casually.
The AT hauler.
Yeah, or whatever the fuck.
wasn't
Yeah, the
flying.
shuttle.
You're like,
Chewie was
okay,
flying.
flyer.
Chewie was fine.
Yeah. So
I know.
All right, now what I'm going to ask you guys to do is
Do it.
do a different one.
Different what?
The same list if you had to switch it up.
Wait.
Exactly.
Wait.
I get what you're
Re-explain
saying.
yourself.
No, exactly. So my original
if
list
you just
went
weren't allowed to pick the order you just picked.
7 Solo. I'm sorry, I did 7 Rogue, Solo 8. If I would have just to fuck it, I probably would have done Solo. I'm sorry.
I don't understand your question whatsoever.
He gets it.
Do the
I
same
get
list
it.
you did done.
I don't know if I should
just
get it, but
now.
I do get it.
Do the same list with the same parameters, but don't do it the same way.
Exactly.
So what I'm gonna yeah
That's exactly right.
exactly.
Well,
so
if
what,
it's the same parameters.
let me tell
what
you
are
my shit then.
talking about?
Rogue One easily number 1.
Okay.
Solo. Yeah, actually, it's probably gonna be complete opposite. No, Rogue, Solo, 7, 8. 8 still.
8.
8 still lays at the bottom. I don't know. There's a lot of.
I'm gonna go Rogue 8, Solo 7.
See, I hear you.
I honestly don't know what you're asking right now.
It's just a.
It's just like if I asked you on a different day, what would your answer be?
On a different day, I'd probably say
like it's almost like
it's a weird
your
question, but
it's
it makes sense.
It's like your favorite versus what would you go home and watch tonight?
Yeah, maybe tonight you're feeling different.
I would watch Rogue One tonight all fucking day.
I would too. Rogue One would be my first pick tonight.
And then Solo would be next, and then probably 7, 8.
Yeah, it was.
well,
What was it?
all right,
Rogue 8,
so
Solo 7. For
based
me.
on how I'm feeling right now, the movies that I have watched recently, et cetera, yeah, I'd probably say Rogue 8, Solo 7.
Yeah, same as me.
So it's the exact opposite order. Just because I've watched 7 a lot lately. I haven't watched Rogue One for a while. I want to watch our commentary for Rogue One. I haven't watched that in a long
That's
time.
actually. I didn't even know we did commentary to that.
It's a Star Wars movie, so we did commentary, you fuck.
All right, guys. Tell us what I mean. I mean, this is on fucking YouTube, right? This is a
Fode
video.
and B, 2 heads, 1 body. That's right. Subscribe to our 2 heads, 1 body on StarBarbecuePod.com.
I'd rather you just skip that and fucking find it out. Shuttle Tidarian, yes.
Yes.
You know what's funny is I always
What's the clearance code?
71899.
What's the clearance code?
I don't know. I would never remember.
I forget.
Clearance code blue.
It's a color.
Yeah.
What's the clearance code?
We always make fun of that.
Expecting like a big number.
No, it's blue. What's the clearance code? Mac and cheese.
Clearance code. Yeah. I would
that's it.
love for everybody who's watching this on YouTube, put your last 3 1138. I'm sorry, your Disney film Star Wars stuff in order. You can do your favorites, maybe even specify favorites or what you want to watch tonight. I think that's a really good, because I know we've always done favorite or best, bro. Favorite or red bear.
Yeah.
But we do Favies Navies too, which is like the same idea.
Yeah.
Fucking your favorite.
No,
and
but I
your-
understand what you mean now that you
Today,
explained it.
not
Like,
so
what
favorite.
would you watch tonight? Because I've watched the shit out of 7 and Solo in the past, like, 3 or 4 months.
Right.
So
Okay,
if I went home right now, I'd watch 8 or Rogue One, for sure.
I'm kind of burned out on 8 still.
Yeah?
That's a shitty thing.
8 does burn itself out quickly.
Thank you.
Quickly.
8, well, in both of my lists, 8 was last. But thank you guys for tuning in. We've got Fode from Starbarbecue Podcast.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
He's from a state that doesn't exist. There's only 3 counties. No one
It's
cares
the
about.
first state. It exists first.
Whoa!
That's
Was it
true.
really?
Yeah.
Delaware's the first state.
First
yeah.
unionized, whatever the fuck the word is.
I was a
Yeah.
history major at Ohio State. They taught me Ohio was the first one.
Nah,
so
dog. Nah, dog.
thank you guys for tuning in. We didn't do a beer review. I think
We did have
Commander?
some beer, but...
I think
We
Commander was
talked
the
about him.
Commander was the closest one on the guess the scene.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. We don't include it unless you're fucking spot on. No prizes for
So
me.
he lost 100%.
I lost 1,000%.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in live because
Yes,
we
thank you,
had a
guys.
lot of fuckos.
A lot
and
of
I know
fucks.
there's only one, but there's a plenty of them.
This makes me want to do like shit on Wednesday or some shit, not Sunday. But
no joke.
Don't get us too excited.
Well,
okay,
I don't
goddamn
read
over
Farsi,
here.
but sure.
Hiking Python's ready to go. Yeah, we did not do a beer review, but our Tavor nonsense is still active. So if you are looking for some
I didn't
craft
even know
beer
Padilla was
goodness,
still
Padilla's still fucking around. If you're looking for some craft beer goodness, check out Tavor. We have a code word Rogue. If you spend $25, you get $10 off. Enter that shit. Spell it correctly, please. Also, our new URL, if you need it. If you forget
Guys,
what the fuck we are about.
get this,
If you
get
don't
this.
know what our... If
No.
you can't spell Rogue correctly...
Stop it. This is a fucking huge announcement because this is hilarious as well as hilarious. We have a new website.
StarWars.beer.
Commander bought Star Wars .beer.
So if you find yourself unable to spell Rogue or Squadron or podcast.com, you can just go to StarWars.beer and you can find us there.
Nice.
So yeah, .beer became a new thing, and
Nice,
Commander
I
was
like
like, he was on top of it and saw Star Wars .beer. He's like $10, like
Big fan.
Boom.
Star Wars .beer.
Nice.
So one day Kathleen's gonna have to pay me mad cash.
You know what's funny is I did what we talked about. Go to like Miller Coors .beer, Miller blah blah blah. They're all like 17. Like
I bet.
it's like no joke. It's like $8,000 for
Yep.
each of them.
Yep.
Because as soon as .beer just became a thing, so you're like Coors .beer and Miller .beer.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
And I looked like 4 days ago, and they were all like, "Oh, that's only $8,000 to own that one now."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Everyone's hammered. Thanks, friends. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit the bell button. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app of choice. We love you. We thank you. We will see you next week.
Don't speak for me. He thanks you. I like our patrons too sometimes. Especially the furry ones.
Oh, fuck.
Who's hammered and who's not?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
we
have
still
to
got
pee
the-
for like the 56th
The live
time.
fucks.
Padilla
Hey,
and
guys.
Shinobi, thank you.
We've got
Yo.
a lot of fuckers in here.
Also, Zach, thanks for tuning in. We
Wait,
haven't seen you in a
Shinobi,
while. So.
Is that
We
Tommy?
appreciate you. What?
It's not Tommy.
Shinobi, that's not Tommy Puig.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
it
it
is.
is.
It is. Oh, yeah.
How do you know him?
Fucking lore master.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the lore master.
He
Yeah, how do you
follows
know
us.
him?
Yeah, he's one of our closest guys.
He's one of our savages.
I didn't